Well, if you do, you call us back.
Are you going to get out there and round up the cattle for him?
How fun is that, huh? Dude, that's his job. That's his life.
Tom, this is Jay with Excel. Ask John if he does his own roofing work out there. I bet he does.
No. Hey, John, do you do your own roofing when you have roofing problems? Oh, okay. Well, that's good. You know, a lot of what you're getting at is a lot of people in the rural areas, they do a lot of their own work, everything.
Absolutely.
Everything.
They just have to take care of it themselves because it's very difficult to get people out there to do the work.
How far out do you go?
It depends upon how much the money is, I guess, Tom. No, but
if it's a big job, yeah.
We'll go out to Deer Trail and places like that, which are pretty far.
Dave Petrali, how far do you go, east or west? South?
I've been way past Pueblo. So an hour or two past Pueblo.
East, you mean?
South.
South?
Yeah.
Do you go out east anywhere down? What would be out there?
Rocky
Albert.
Ford?
We've been out to Albert.
Oh, really? Okay. What's Suzanne?
Rocky Ford? That area?
Where's that?
That's where we got our Doberman.
I know,
that's
but
all
geographically, where is
like
that?
by La Junta, I think?
Yeah, it's going to be east of Pueblo.
Yes, okay. Do
Yeah.
you go out that far?
That's where we got Bella, yeah.
Do you go out that far, Dave?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
We'll go.
303-713-8255 if you have a problem, question, or complaint. Hey, Will wants to talk about a condo. Will, what's happening?
Yes, I'm renting a condo. I've been there for about 2 years, and they evacuated us because we have mold in the wall. I guess that's the three worst kind of molds that you can.
So, Will, they actually said you had to evacuate while they mitigated?
Yes.
Really? So they must have done some airborne testing.
They did some airborne testing, humidity testing, all kinds
Now,
of
is it just your unit, or are they vacating the whole building?
So far, it's just our unit.
Oh. And how did they get hip? How did they get aware of this? What happened?
Well, I called my landlady and told her that, we had issue with mold, that it was, it was growing within the closet. It was on an exterior wall.
Right.
She asked me to send her some pictures, and I sent her pictures, and then they said, no, you got to get out. So we left for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got back, they said, no, they were going to send some people to take a look at it, and they said, no, you guys got to get out.
Well,
I got it back.
Are they compensating you? Are they obviously going to credit rent?
Yeah, well, my landlady gave us back our prorated rate for April, and she's going to give us back our deposit, but it looks like we're basically having to move out by Thursday.
So what? Well, that's weird. That you still have rights. Actually, I don't think they can force you out that quickly, but you would probably want to get out of that's dangerous. I want to remind people there are lines wide open now. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Will. So what are you calling about? Are you asking what your rights are?
Yes, I don't know who would have to pay for that. Would that be my renter's insurance, the homeowner's insurance?
To pay for what?
HOA?
To pay for what?
Pay for us to move out, to be out on, whether it's a hotel or whatever.
Here's the deal. You have technically a breach of contract, okay? You had a lease. Okay. You have a lease, and she can't honor the lease. When is your lease up?
It's been up for a while. We're just there from month to month.
Okay. Well, then you don't have much as far as losses. You have a month to month, which means all she had to do was give you 30 days notice. So what is the month to month? Is it 15th to 15th or 1st to 1st?
I think it's 1st to 1st.
Okay, so you're going to basically be in for a half a month in April, right?
Yes.
Okay, so technically, the only thing you could probably get her for is not giving you 30 days notice, which cost you a little extra money. But remember, you would have to move anyway, so moving expenses are not extra costs. You're not going to have that many losses, Will, on a month-to-month lease. You don't really have a lot of loss. But she could, let's just say you fight this. The only thing you can fight, really, is it would give you all of May, basically, because she would have to give you 30 days notice from the rent cycle. So she gives you 30 days notice now that she wants you out at the end of April. It doesn't go 30 days from whatever day. It's usually the start of the rent cycle. The rent cycle starts on the 1st. So she'll tell you this month, I want you out at the end of May. And that's technically how it's supposed to be. And I don't think, by the way, there would be any harm if her letting you stay there, except she might be afraid of liability. Knowing that it's there, you may want to say to her, look, I need time. Technically, you're supposed to give me 30 days notice, and I'll give you a waiver of liability if you let me stay here, and then choose to stay. And if she won't do that, you could just sit there and make her evict you. By the time she does that, it's going to be mid-May anyway.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest concern is that we have a 5-month-old daughter.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to do that then.
You sure don't want to stay there then.
No, you don't want to stay there. But but they don't owe you anything. They only owe you probably 30 days. You can probably, after you move, sue her for 30 days of rent that you did not get because she did not afford you that notice.
Okay.
That's the only thing you can do. I mean, there's not a big case here. Now, if you had a lease, she would have to buy you out of this lease, Will. Eric! Oh, man, I'm happy I put the word out. Eric, you're a new listener?
Yes, I am.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from California, stationed out here in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
All right, I want you to hold on, Eric. I'd love to talk to you right after this.
Whose mic was that? Was it yours?
No.
Okay.
I've got mine on. For sure. We're going to do a screening special today.
What are you going to do?
For people over for the first 10 callers, people over 70 years old, free gutter cleaning.
Is that legal?
To give a free, why wouldn't it?
I don't care. I don't care.
We care less.
We're going to do it.
Damn it.
I'll do it. I don't care.
And the joke about it,
But you got to be over 70.
let's make it humorous. And if they look younger than 70, we're going to cart them at the door.
There you go.
We're going to be looking for an ID. If they look like they're under 70, we're going to be looking for an ID. But that's our screening deal today. First 10 callers to our office, and the office is supposed to call me and let me know as soon as we hit 10 callers.
Yeah, you
If we can do this one earlier, that'd be good. Last time we did it right at the tail end.
It'll be a good one.
Dave, do you want to do anything? You certainly.
Dave's going to give a free roof to the first 10 callers.
Yeah, absolutely. I will. I'll be your spokesman on this one. Petrali Roofing's who you need to call in the springs for your free roof.
I don't care. If you want to do something, you don't have to.
I offered a free steak dinner to somebody last night. If that leaks again, I'll give you a free steak dinner because I know it's not the roof. So they have a leak, and we can discover what the problem is, and we don't fix it. A free steak dinner.
Come on, really? I like that one.
That's pretty damn good, Dave. I like that.
I actually do like that.
Well, a lot of people think that it's the roof.
Of course.
And a lot of times it's not. And so
I hate leaks. I hate them.
Just go through a series of questions. Hey, did you have this leak before we put the roof on? Yeah. Well, there's a big clue right there. It's not the roof. The same spot, it's leaking in the same spot. It's not the roof. It's a chimney, it's the siding, it's the windows, it's, in this case, it was I looked up on the side of the house, and there's this little gray spot up there. I said, what is that? She said, that's probably cowell. I said, no, I'm going to go look at that. I think it's caulking. Somebody put some caulking up there, but when I got up there, there's a big hole in the side there. Water just going right in there. So I felt pretty confident about the steak dinner.
Free leak inspection, and if you can't fix it, they get a steak dinner. Correct?
Yeah, that'd be all right. If I can't fix it, yeah.
Jay, do you want any different number than 761-6400?
761.
I need to change some of these out. I'm just tired of them if it's possible. I mean, this is way too much.
What's he talking about?
Lights.
Oh.
Lights?
Lights are livestock.
Oh, is this supposed to be off when, I mean...
Definitely off.
Yeah.
Always off, yeah.
Always off.
Only on when you're
only when you're
and
literally
if you get in the habit of when you're not talking, like if you're in the, like Tom talks back, hit off, then when you talk back, hit on. If you get in that habit, great.
Yeah, it's fine.
General,
I turned it on. I guess that's what he was questioning there.
If you hit on, it's on
I
the
just
air.
thought, well, I'll just leave it on, you know. Yeah, don't do that.
You're all good.
All right.
You don't have to go like every time you talk it, just like when the conversation is done, you just go ahead and get off.
Okay.
And you're getting more comfortable every time you come in. I love it.
Oh,
On that too.
well,
Oh, yeah, right.
he makes me feel comfortable.
Jay's the best.
I know.
I noticed you switched to green. Is that new?
You know, they messed up when I ordered this shirt and they made it green,
Wow.
and it's sweet. I like it.
I do too. It stuck out to me because I'm not
It's
used to
like
seeing it.
the St. Patty's Day logo, the St. Patty's Day version. You want one? I'll get you a St. Patty's Day version.
Sure, love it. Getting close. If you had something in like a Armani suit, maybe, where the logo's on the inside.
No, that's not what you want. I know. You want a hoodie that says Aspen on it.
There you go.
Yeah. I have one of those.
I know, it's your favorite hoodie. You wear it almost every day, it seems like.
During the winter, I do. I love it.
We just need to put like the roofing logo on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Yep.
My birthday's coming up.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You can do anything for yourself?
I totally forgot it was this week until my wife reminded me.
You old guy.
Well, my daughter's, she turns 15 on the 20th. Mine's on the 15th, so we just always go out to dinner.
Isn't that funny how you gauge things by your kid's age?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
What are you going to do? Anything?
Let's go out to dinner. No, we're going on vacation in, take a month or two, I forget.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Eric is a new listener to the Troubleshooter Show. We have our roofers in today,
Trolley Roofing from Colorado Springs. Jay Brett's, Excel Roofing, the entire Front Range. Hey, what's going on, Eric? Where are you stationed now?
Oh, I'm stationed out here in Colorado.
And so you're with the Air Force?
No, Army.
Army, okay. And what do you do for the Army?
I'm a targeting tech.
And how long have you been in?
Just hit 18 February.
18 years?
Yep.
Are you going to make it a career? I guess
I'm doing the 20. I'm doing the 20 now. Got promotions coming up this year and next year, so depending on military numbers, strength numbers, and retention, might go further. But right now, planning for the retirement.
You know, I gave a talk down there to a bunch of soldiers on financial awareness. Apparently, this is what I heard, Eric, that a lot of you guys on the base, a lot of you guys get taken advantage of in business. Seriously, I was told, one of the reasons I was told is because most of you are credit worthy, have a steady job, and you are...
Steady pay, can't get fired.
Right, and a lot of scammers and a lot of people target the military. Did you know that?
Yep, that's totally true. Especially the lower enlisted, they're high targets on that.
Exactly.
A lot of people that come in and target those people because they don't get the education or the knowledge given to them as most senior enlisted or officers that get it, through college and further education, and then also through their contacts, their left and right buddies.
Yeah.
So they don't get it the way that most officers do.
Well, Eric, do you have any problems you need help with?
No. Actually, I was saving the number into my phone.
Well, you do it.
And at the same time that I was doing that, it called in. First time listener.
Okay, well, Eric, thank you for listening.
That means he gets to come in and buy us lunch.
Yeah, no, we'll buy you lunch, Eric, if you ever want to come in. And listen, and thank you for your service. We appreciate it.
Do you remember that one guy that came in?
Yeah.
And was going to buy us lunch.
Oh, why do you bring this up every time?
Don't you remember that?
Yes.
And then you left, and while you were gone using the restroom, he decided he couldn't buy us lunch. You came back and you thanked him for lunch, and he looked at you and said, "No, thank you." And you were lost.
When I was gone, it turned out he didn't have any money, so Mark volunteered my credit card. Company credit card.
After he was going to buy lunch.
Why does that strike you so
I
funny?
still laugh every day.
It was your
at that.
reaction, Tom.
Well, why? Because he's saying order anything you want. We're all ordering big lunches.
And then you gave a plug out to the place they came to.
Jason, welcome. What's going on, Jason?
Hey, Tom. How are you?
Good. What's going on with you?
I'm calling in. I run a small business, and by small I mean me. And I am to the point where I need to hire somebody, but I just don't know how to go about, like, making that next step.
Yeah, you know, growing is the hardest thing to do. To go from going from a single sole proprietorship to multiple people, that's the hardest step. And then the next step is going to, you know, that over 5 mark.
You got workman's comp insurance. You're going to have payroll.
Workers' comp and payroll. But you know what, Jason? It's so easy nowadays because they have professional employment organizations and companies that do payroll that it makes it so easy. They simply tell you what to deposit, and then they do your paychecks for you if you want. But the other thing is just make sure you have someone competent that doesn't steal from you. But, Jason, here's the deal. What kind of work is it?
I run an appliance repair business.
Oh, that is a great business. It really, really is a great business. And you're starting to get very, very busy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm turning down more work than I'm accepting.
Okay. Now, the very first thing you do is you have someone ride along. You know that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the field a long time, so I got trained people. I just don't know about what insurance is and how to bring them on.
Tower Financial, that's what she does.
Yeah, in fact, that's true. You know, she could walk you through step by step. What part of where are you located?
Southeast Aurora.
Okay, she services the whole Front Range, but it's called.
Oh yeah.
But Tower Financial Partners, she consults people just like you.
She can teach you to do everything by yourself, or she can do some of it for you.
Right. It's really a match made in heaven for small businesses. But let me just give you the steps. Payroll, people make way too much of payroll. It's not that complicated. There are services that will do that for you for just, you know, like $50 a month or $60 a month or 30. It depends on their per head count. The other thing is, Jason, is a matter of deciding how you want to expand. Do you want to invest money? Do you have money to invest? Because you're going to have to buy a unit to get them out in the company. So do you have a van or a vehicle that you will equip someone with?
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, I have service vehicles, so.
You already do. And then why aren't they being used now? I mean, why do you have more than one vehicle right now?
Well, I had one when I started, and then I've upgraded to a newer one, but I kept the older one as well.
Very smart. Very, very smart. They can help you. I think that would be your first step, Tower Financial Partners, just to call and say, look, I'd like to sit down in a meeting. And they charge sometimes by the project, by the hour. And they only charge for what they do. You know, they're not looking for just a bunch of money. They will charge for exactly what they do. That's what you need. But the first thing you do, of course, is do you have any experienced techs you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
I was also wondering, like, a lot of people are telling me I should 1099 them, and that would be easier.
No. Listen, if you want to do the independent contractor thing, there are a few tests that I will tell you need to do so you don't fail. First, they have to be available to other people to work the same way. You cannot exclusively have them work for you, okay? So if they're an appliance repair person, they have to be able to advertise to homeowners and to other companies like yours to do independent contracting for them too. The next thing is you can't supply them with their tools or the van. And the third thing is you can't tell them when to work. Now, you can tell them how to work when they do work, but they get to choose what days they want to work. So it's not impossible to do, Jason. You could have a system whereby you have a computer that they log into, and they see what work is out there, and they call you and say, Jason, I'll take this job, and this job, and then you dispatch them, and they share revenue with you. You know, there's a legal way to do it, but it's way, way less controlling than people think. You have to...
So that would be more complicated than, like, getting the insurances and having
exactly.
Them as an actual
That's
employee.
exactly right. That's
not
exactly
only that,
right.
if you did 1099 them and something happened and they got upset at some point, oh boy, if they called the state, man, you'd be looking at all kinds of trouble.
And penalties. Listen, the reason we know that is because we actually went through an audit two different audits, because we often have people who will market our services, you know, advertising agencies or people say, hey, Tom, we have people interested in the referral list. Can you do this? Can you do that? And we'll pay a commission. And here's the problem. Then if they get upset with us, they call the Labor Department and say, you know, I worked there and I never got my taxes taken out or whatever. When we get audited, here's what they said to us. And we, by the way, went through the audit unscathed. It was a no-change audit. We're doing it correctly, thank God. But here's what it is. It's that people have to be able to work for you at will whenever they want. You cannot control when they work, nor can you control where they work or who else they work for.
You know, he used an example, if you remember. If you have one guy mow your lawn and you're the only one he does, he's technically your employee.
Wait till I tell you some of the problems that people get into. You will be shocked at how people get in very, very big trouble when it comes to this kind of thing. I want to tell you right now about an attorney I hope you never need. It's a husband and wife team. You know who I'm going to say, right, Mark? winkandwink.com. They're bankruptcy attorneys. No one wants bankruptcy, but they're there if you need them. In fact, if you go to them before you think bankruptcy is imminent, they also do debt settlement and can possibly help you prevent it. But if you need help, you need consultation, winkandwink.com, 303-410-1720.
Weird employment situation.
One of the biggest issues our nation is facing. Everybody wants
So Brandon's got an appliance repair business. I keep telling him to get on the list.
more than a band-aid.
I got it.
Starts with a
Oh, yeah, I forget about yours.
The older kid?
Yeah, I do. I forget. By the way, whatchamacallit?
It's just because I look too young to have a 29-year-old.
Matt Cornell saw me yesterday. He says, Martino, just wait. He was just, I happened to be out with Kevin. We were in a parking lot.
What happened?
Just Matt Cornell. But here's why I say this.
I'm meeting Matt tomorrow.
But here's what was weird about him. He's in the car, and this boy's sitting there. Kid has to be 13, 14. And the kid looked like a beautiful model. I mean, this kid looked like he walked out of a movie. And I said, geez, I mean, you know how you see people?
Yeah.
His eye, I went, holy crap. I mean, I didn't say anything. And Matt says, hey, Tom, this is my son, so-and-so. And I thought, wow, you know, like your daughter. Very few people have, you know, your Addie is like that, too. I mean, you just look and you go, holy crap. You know, very few kids are like that, seriously. I mean, my kids aren't like that. I mean, where you go, wow.
Well, look at me.
Yeah, right. Addie is.
I know, I hear that all the time.
God, I mean, she definitely.
So he looks nothing
she can't
like
be a
Matt.
model. She's too short to be a model, but she could definitely do cosmetics and stuff. Stephanie said she could absolutely do that. You know, her face is perfect. This kid, I swear to God, looked like Abercrombie. I mean, but his hair was perfect, and I thought, what kid looks like that? You know, they're usually
Maybe he is a model.
They're usually goofy looking.
Maybe he is a model.
You know, Stephanie did. Do you know she did modeling for, what's the guy's name? Ralph Lauren.
Oh, no shit. I didn't know. That's big time, man.
In college.
Well, back then, that's huge time. I don't even know. Is he still alive?
She made more money doing that than in broadcasting, but she didn't want to do it. Her father wouldn't let her. He wouldn't pay for tuition.
She's perfect for it, too. She's so tall.
But because
his wife's like, she's got to be, what, 6'2"?
5'11".
Get out of here. She's taller than me, I thought.
5'11".
You're sure she's 5'11"? Wow. Does she usually wear heels? Okay.
Not high heels, but...
Yeah, just an inch or two.
Hey, Jay.
So did you want to tell that guy where did this kid come from?
What are you doing this weekend?
You're not nearly.
What are you doing this week? My kids love your kids. They just love them. What are you doing this weekend?
We don't have any plans. Let's do something.
Okay.
You know who looks like that though? And I'm not just plugging him because it's my kid, but Henry.
He's a great boy.
Especially when he was very young. People used to say that this is the prettiest girl because he just had those like.
No, he is a cute boy. He is. Dolce thinks he's sweet.
Yeah, that means she's getting
Those kids, they've known each other since birth. I mean, they know literally. You know, they've known.
Same age?
They were born how many months apart? Just a few months apart.
More like weeks. His birthday was
so we would
just a
get
couple
together
days
when they were just little kids, all four of them.
That's cool. Hey Jay, you want to look at the banner for the free gutter cleaning? I'll put up. Yeah, watch that. That's a bad deal.
Nobody yank.
enabling cyber criminals to hijack sensitive information.
That looks great. I like it.
Leave that. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
You want a picture with Tom kissing you?
Yeah. Dan, turn this camera on. Or, you ready?
Oh, wait.
What are you going to do? A still?
Free gutter cleaning. I'm going to do my...
Oh, I can just take a picture.
That's smart. Do it.
Yeah, come on.
Just take
I know. Let's see. We've got probably
do it.
75
You can
listeners.
say it.
Yeah, right now.
You got to talk and do
Just
this one.
remind me.
Okay.
I'll say it right now. Oh, never mind. We're not on yet. I'll say it, Jay, coming right back. And I'll
But everybody's listening online.
Wait till the next break. We'll tease people to listen to the next break.
We've got a special coming
Yeah, but I
up,
don't
so
want
you
to
need
do
to
it just
listen
on the
to it.
break. You know what I mean? I want to do it for the regular listeners, too.
It's going to go pretty quick. Free gutter cleaning.
If there's 10 of them.
Over 7.
Do you want to see if we can talk 10 online only? Do you want to see it?
Yeah, let's do it online.
You can do both if you want, sure.
Mold and mildew and start with
Yeah, do both. Say it. You're right. Say it.
convert your old
You
tub
tell me which camera to look in.
shower. And we can transform your
You want to do it now?
I want to know what happened with the computer.
Right now.
about anything else you
There.
can think
Okay, if you're,
Dan, do we
for
have
the
a
first 10
computer
callers, if
start
you're over
number?
70 years old, call Excel Roofing 303-761-640.
Yeah, show you all the design options.
Free gutter cleaning.
Now, if you call, ask about our
First 10 callers, if you're over 70,
I like those shirts.
and if you look under 70, we're going to call you.
Yeah, but
You have
free gutter cleaning. First 10 callers to Excel.
Did you make
Gotta
those
be over
shirts
70.
especially for
Over
employees?
70. Tom, you qualify.
Do you want one?
I like it. Yeah, I'll wear it.
Radio 630.
I like it. Not
That's okay, Dave, Dave's the boss, but.
I like it. Yeah, that's a good looking shirt too.
Yeah, Dave has nice shirt.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome. Okay, listen. Jay Brett has a special for Excel Roofing.
If you're over 70, no jokes, Mark, over 70, and you can prove it, he says if you look too good, they're going to ask you to prove it. So if you're over 70, I don't know what that means, actually. Are you expecting them to look bad? What does that mean?
What?
Jay said if they don't look 70, they're going to card them.
We're going to card them at the door.
Okay.
We just don't want people over 70 getting on ladders, for one thing.
So free gutter cleaning for people over 70, and it's only limited to the first 10 callers. Now listen, we're going to do it right now. The first 10 callers only, over 70, they'll go through your entire perimeter and clean gutters. 303-761-6400. Free gutter cleaning. 303-761-6400. Let me get to the phones. Okay, we have Griffin here. Griffin, what's going on?
Hey, buddy. Appreciate you guys
Yes,
coming
sir.
today. I just picked up a check from them, and it was able to be cashed. So that was that's positive.
That is very good. You called yesterday and said you did not get paid for your last week of work. Is that what it was?
Was that from that transmission guy?
It was from Auto Lab.
Yeah, that's from Auto
That's
Lab.
very nice. Okay, he paid, and he said there was a mix-up, and he had always planned to pay you, and he paid you. So that's what counts.
Sweet.
So Griffin, we appreciate it. And I know when you called, you said, "Look, it's not the money thing; it's the principle." Blah blah blah. But hey, it's pretty good. You got paid though.
Oh, yeah, a couple extra bucks never hurt. So I appreciate what you guys do. Keep fighting the good fight, and I'll keep listening.
All right, hold on a sec, Griffin. Just 1 second. Suzanne would like to have a word with you, if possible. Suzanne, or just hold on a sec.
We just had the first person take Jay up on the free gutter cleaning.
Wow, okay.
He's in Boston, though.
Boom. I guess we need to qualify that.
So he's in Boston. What time? He wants to know what time you'll be there.
Denver metro area only, please. Please.
All right, 303-713-8255. What is going on, Mark?
Hey, Tom, I wanted to make one comment really quick on the military guy you were talking about.
Yes.
There's something called the MLA, Military Lending Act, and it has to do with the cap on the APR. And I also believe last October it starts also pawning. So if you go to a pawn shop, they can't charge you more than 36% APR. I'm pretty sure that that's in effect now. I just wanted to
That's still incredible, but you're right, Mark. They had to put some measures in place. I guess for some reason the military guys were just being hammered.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. And, you know, I will tell you that when I went to speak to these soldiers, and we had, did I go to Fort Carson, was it?
Yep.
There were a lot of them there. It was like 200 or something, but it was nice. And you wouldn't believe what people do. I mean, they knock at their doors. They try to sell them things. They for some reason, because of the steady pay, the credit, the stability, they're great targets for people. What were you going to say, Jay?
You know, Tom, whenever I go by these military bases, it seems like right outside of the gate, there's always all these scam businesses. When I say a scam business, it's these car dealers or the pawn shops.
You mean near the base?
Right there.
I know.
At the rent-to-own. And I always wonder, why doesn't a good company like Ford or somebody like that just set up a small shop right there and run a special for the military guys? Why does it always have to be these scammers that are just right outside of the base?
I don't know. And you know, we can't say that the military guys aren't smart. I mean, they do a lot of important work. I don't know why it is that they feel like they're marks or pigeons. Hey, you have a question, Mark? Go ahead.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about cost segregation because I might start working with a company that does it. But I talked to an accountant.
I need to know what you mean by cost segregation.
Well, it's like a study that you can have like an accounting firm, an engineering firm do where they kind of separate some of the personal property you paid out on a building, and they accelerate that depreciation.
I know that it's a way to reduce tax. I've heard of it, but I know what okay, now I know what you're talking about. So if you have a building, you can break parts out and accelerate the depreciation.
Right,
okay,
right.
I know what you mean.
What I wanna know is,
so what they mean by cost segregation, it actually, a more apt term would be, although they call it cost segregation, it's actually depreciation segregation. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
So you can, like, if you did a bunch of landscaping,
Right.
you can do that.
That's right.
But my question is, let's say you do a cost segregation study and they say, okay, you can take $100,000 off, you know, your taxable income. But I believe that just lowers your basis of what you own the building for. So aren't you just going to pay more taxes when you sell it? And it seems like it's just a wash.
Well, you know what? Here's the deal. When you take a depreciation for that year, it is lowering your tax rate. Okay, so basically, it's not a credit, it's a deduction. So it lowers your taxable income. Right. And you're right. If you take that landscaping and you depreciate it quicker than the building, or you don't add it to the basis of the building, then when you sell the building, you're absolutely correct. Your basis will be whatever your basis is, and it won't include the stuff you've already depreciated. So it will, in essence, increase your capital gains, if that's what you're talking about. But most businesses, they dispose of property only usually 2 times. Once, I don't mean 2 times, but for 2 reasons. One reason is to grow, so they do what's called a 1031 exchange most of the time. They move into bigger headquarters of like nature, so they just pass their basis on to the new property, or they sell and they're getting out of business. So if that happens, they don't normally care because they're getting out of business and they simply take the capital gains tax. You see, also, capital gains tax is cheaper than income tax. And what the depreciation does, the depreciation lowers income tax, even though it may keep your capital gains a little higher. Capital gains traditionally have been always cheaper than income tax. So
okay, so you're better off saving $100,000 on your taxable income.
Right. Then adding it to your basis.
And paying the capital gains.
Then adding it to your basis, right. Because capital gains has always been a preferred tax, meaning they usually give you a break on capital gains. And I think you're going to see more of that in the future. And then also, sometimes you get capital gains. Well, you don't get exclusions on businesses, but you do on homes and stuff. So, listen, it's a matter of juggling. The rule usually is this. Whatever you can do to reduce your taxable income, you do immediately. Sam's got a question about gutters. Go ahead, Sam.
Well, number one, I want the free gutter deal if I can get that. And I have a question for you, gutter.
Are you 70?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, we're going to put you down for it unless he's got 10 already. But, okay, so go ahead, Sam. What's your question?
My question is if you modify the downspout, how low an angle can I go with the outflow onto the yard?
You mean when you come down the house and then go out to the yard, you want to know how shallow that can be?
Correct. Like somebody come out almost 45 degrees. How low an angle can I go?
Could he go 90 degrees? Technically not, right?
He could go 90 if he wanted, or shallower. But the rule of thumb, Sam, is you want to make sure that you get that water at least 4 feet away from the house, no matter what angle that downspout
Yeah, but
is
if you did a right angle, there's a danger of it just sitting in the gutter.
That's right. So the more of an angle that tip out is what we call it, that pipe at the bottom, the more of an angle it's at, the farther the water is going to get away from the house normally. But he could use a flexible pipe or something like that as well. So do you have a lot of trees around your house, Sam?
On the side that I'm concerned about, not particularly, no.
Okay, because if you get a lot of leaves in that downspout, and especially that lower pipe that's getting the water away, that's going to cause it to clog up easier.
All right, we have more coming right up.
Who wants to do gutter cleaning? Can you get his name and number just in case?
Tell him to...
There's a couple of crashes. Watch out for you drive across.
Oh, good. Just tell him to call right up.
Not kidding, I'm
But tell him
Give me my cell phone? Sweet. Let's broadcast that. I know Tom's cell. Let's give Tom's cell phone.
Yeah, let's crash. This is on the ramp from Arapahoe. Do you have your company for? I listen to it.
Myself.
We do them ourselves.
What's that?
So your cell phone is somewhere.
Have you seen our trailer down there in Springs? Yeah, we do all our trailers down there also.
No. Like someone put it up?
I know it is, because I don't know where they get it, but every once in a while somebody calls me.
I had problems with gutter.
Am I supposed to give them just your regular main line, right?
761-6400.
For the gutter cleaning?
Yep.
And you guys will do your 10 count or whatever?
Yeah, they're doing the 10 count at the office.
Okay.
Maybe we should say that again. Call the office, because they're doing the 10 count at the office, and the office is supposed to call us when they get.
So if Betty does this, if she's calling just to ask for that, or does she have a question?
I think she had a question.
Okay.
All right.
Put them all on.
His shop's calling him going, what are you doing?
Free gutters? Oh, I put free gutters.
It's my free gutters. Free 3-inch gutters.
It's just we got 5 from the East Coast.
Many American families, affordable housing is out of reach. This April, join Habitat for Humanity's Home is the Key campaign and help families build the stability and self-reliance needed for a better life.
We did a house for a guy that teaches at Habitat yesterday.
That's what home means to me.
Look for the campaign at local retailers or visit habitat.org to see a list of participating stores and pledge
There's
your
a lot of good
support
things going on with college. And
you're
you're talking about 70-year-old people with doing age-friendly certification. Have you heard of that?
What is it?
Okay, so age-friendly certification is through the Better Business Bureau.
What is it?
El Paso, so it's El Paso County. It's actually across the nation. People are looking into the community and finding there are 8 domains related to the elderly that live in the community, related to their health services, to outside parks, to the way business people treat them. So, age-friendly certification. So what we did, we got certified, and what that actually means is we have to identify, there's a few things you have to do. You have to identify yourself, so everybody has to have a picture and a name tag.
Oh, so you're
It's an age-friendly certification.
Okay, so that means people can see that you are certified as age-friendly.
Our contacts have to be bigger, so we can get on there.
I get it. What a good idea.
About hearing, Bureau. Oh, yeah. So the
I like this.
He's a white dude.
Well, that's why he's so alive.
Actually, I think it's AARP started it, but all states across the nation.
I don't trust cops.
And El Paso County.
I don't trust cops.
If you look up age-friendly, you'll see it right
I mean, I trust
and
good
so
cops.
we're doing that, and then we're going to take
I'm in this class. I
proceeds
told
from some of our routes, and we are going to be giving, we're going to be like creating a fund that we could use for Habitat for Humanity. And we're also doing
How do you separate at the jail?
customer
And there's
and
good,
services,
there's
the gala that they have
people,
every year. I
70%
don't know
of
if you've
people
heard
are
about that.
returners. How do you know,
But the age-friendly thing is a big deal. There were 8 domains
Everybody's
that they target. So for us, for business, we're going to be talking to people about making sure that the customer can hear, can understand,
Kaboom.
that we care about
We got
them.
10? We've had the 10 callers.
Wow.
You?
Did we get the state people?
Well, we didn't offer it yet.
I'll start promoting the state.
We did that digitally.
Now I gotta take this off. I'll take it off.
On that, yeah.
Can you just
Well, I
modify
would've
again?
just said that.
We reached our limit.
I am doing that.
We had the 10 callers.
Digital stuff.
Look for next time Days On or something like that.
Download the free
So you're going to get inspections, right?
Huh?
Free inspections?
You should at least go give it to Betty or whoever that is.
Everybody gets free inspection.
Right, but if they call up and you find a problem that you can't fix,
Free
you
today
take them
only.
out for a steak dinner,
We have a
up to
little free
$5.
today only.
Right.
Right? Okay, we got that? Oh, and by the way, I'm a nurse. I know a little bit about that mold.
That what? The mobile.
I'm an RN.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
You're welcome. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We have a question about roofing. Go ahead, Ann.
Hi, Tom. Yes, we signed a contract back on the 17th of March. It was dated 7th, but he gave us time to look it over and see if we wanted to go with him.
Well, they're supposed to give you 3 days in Colorado now for you to change your mind, yeah.
So we went ahead and signed it, and then he told us he was going to come out and do it that week. Well, that week went. It was too cold. Then the next week, it's too cold. Next week, and then last week he said he'd be here on Wednesday. We called him. Why didn't you show up? He says, oh, I didn't get all the materials ready. So, okay. So we called him again Friday, I think it was. We have all the
Did you
materials.
pay the
so
guy
we'll be there on
anything?
Wednesday.
Did you
So I
pay
never
the guy
showed up.
anything?
I'm sorry?
Did you pay him anything?
No, not
Okay.
a thing. He
All
said,
right. So now
nothing
what? Where are we right now then? Still
I
not
don't
started?
know. He said was supposed to be here this morning to start the roofing again, and they have never showed up.
That's
And
a
so
bad sign.
My concern is, can I get out of this contract?
Well,
it doesn't say anywhere where they have a 3-day rescission.
Well, no, wait. It doesn't have a 3-day right to rescind written on the contract?
No, nowhere. I looked at it because I've listened to your show all the time.
If there's no 3-day right to rescind, and by the way, for those listening, I have to say this immediately, that does not apply to all contracts. It's only by specific statute. It just so happens, in Colorado, roofing falls under a 3-day right to rescind. If a 3-day right to rescind is not clearly placed on the contract, then your 3 days starts from the time they notify you. And since they haven't notified you, you let them know that you're getting out of it. You guys want to chime in?
My question is there any roofing material that's already delivered, or is there a permit at the house?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
But still, the 3-day right to rescind, they did not include.
She should just notify the company that she wants out of the deal.
Just tell them you want out.
If you need more information on this, I have a great write-up on it saying how to get out of a
Where
bad
is it?
contract.
Is it on mine?
It's on my website.
It's on your website.
Yep, and
we ought to
talks
post that.
all about how you can hire your own
excelroofing.com.
Hire your own independent roof inspector and all these other things if they force you into the deal. Once you tell them all the things you're going to do, they won't want any part of it. So yeah, if you go to excelroofing.com and look up how to get out of a bad roofing contract, you will find it. Or just Google that, how to get out of a bad roofing contract.
And make it specific to Colorado. But the bottom line, Ann, you can get out of it if he did not include a 3-day right to rescind. Is there a penalty? Well, I don't even think that penalty would apply because he never gave you the 3-day right to rescind.
No, there's nothing on here. It just says the contract prices are good for 30 days. That's it.
Yeah, I don't see how they can hold you to it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that's all I needed to know.
Let us know if you need any more help. 303-713-8255. Okay. Larry's a very new listener. Hi, Larry.
Hi.
Thank you for listening. Where are you from?
I'm in Monument, Colorado.
You've been here a long time?
Actually, quite some time, yes.
So what's going on?
I wanted to talk to you about a book that I'm writing about my father-in-law. He was shot down during World War II. He was the right waist gunner on a B-24 Liberator.
Wow. Did you interview him? Is he around?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, he's almost 95. He's 94 right now. Be 95 in a month.
Do you know we were responsible for a best-selling book that was launched on this show as a result of this show?
I was not aware, but I am trying to reach out to people and talk shows just like this to generate some interest.
Well, here's what we did. We interviewed a guy, Donald Stratton from Colorado Springs, 95 or 96, a survivor of the Arizona and the Pearl Harbor attack, and he was on the show giving a compelling story. His son brought him in. We were raising money to get him there, and an author's daughter called us, or called her dad. She was listening in Denver. She called her dad in New York. Her dad in New York had several bestsellers and does ghostwriting, or co-authoring, they call it now. And he contacted Donald, and the rest is history. It's a wonderful book. And it turned out great. So, Larry, and I think he even mentioned about the show in the book. They talked about it. So, Larry,
very good.
What do you need? What do you need from us?
I just wanted to try to generate some interest.
Well,
in
is the book is the book done?
It is not completed, but I have started the publishing process. I've signed the contract.
Where does your dad live?
He actually lives in Texas, but he is visiting us for a short time.
When?
Right now.
Let's get him in.
I would love to.
Let's get him in. When is he going home?
That's still kind of up in the air.
Suzanne, let's get him in. Let's,
oh, sure, Tom.
And you come in with him, Larry, and let's do what we did for Donald Stratton. Let's get his story out.
Excellent.
Now, is there anything unique about his story other than it's wonderful? I mean, anything unique, anything you can think of? You're an author.
The best way I can describe it is a series of minor miracles.
Okay.
Honestly, I cannot tell you all of them at all, but let me give you one.
Okay, can you do it? Hold on. Let Larry give us one right after the break. One kind of near miracle or miracle story. Then we'll schedule to have them in. I'm Tom Martino. We have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. We have open lines, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Get your calls in right now for roofing and any other consumer problem, question, or complaint.
I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. It's finally time.
That's an excellent idea. Can we use it?
Which one?
The one about telling you how to get out of a contract.
Yeah, if you Google it, yeah. You might want to credit.
Some tips on there about roofing.
If you just Google it, that's the number one. Tom, when you said do it in Colorado, if you just Google how to get out of a bad roofing contract, my write-up comes up. Yeah, it's just a series of steps that most homeowners don't know how to do. It says you need to notify the roofing company you want out. You need to talk to one of the managers and tell them you want out. If they still won't let you out, tell them you're going to be the most difficult customer ever.
Right.
And then tell them that if they force you to do the
Or just
deal,
tell them you're from New York.
yeah, that's basically what you're saying.
I tell people I'm from New York.
See, but that guy sitting next to you is from New York also, and he's just the nicest guy you'll ever meet.
What part of New York are you from?
He's so mellow.
What's that? Oh, I grew up in Catskill, the little town.
Oh,
So I
that's
know
right. You and I have spoken
just
before
the
somewhere, I
bands.
know.
We would see how many people actually
Now,
Well, we see that anyhow.
hung out in St.
He said it over
in New York.
the air and stuff for that, so you can't really
So-
see. No, you'd see it on the analytics and stuff, but see
So what about,
watching and how good these are.
Yeah, no. What about where you think you met me? Where do you think
I don't know.
it's all in the
Where have you
deal?
done radio? I've only heard great things about you and all your radio shows.
Well,
Have you ever
New
been
York,
here?
WABC.
Oh, you did in New York.
WA.
I had a radio show, I think I told you, for 3 years.
Yeah.
Who's Your Neighbor, it's called.
What was it about?
Who's Your Neighbor?
Oh, and what was it about? Like,
I was getting anybody who's new in the town, the mayor, the attorneys, politicians, your neighbor. And one of the platters on because he was the sheriff there at the time. It was just fun. It was kind of fun, just fun, local kind of thing.
Any more comments on the audio?
No
Well, I
more
don't see
comments.
anything. I don't.
On the audio.
And I'm listening. What's that say?
What?
What did you just say?
That's good.
Okay.
Tom Cruise.
United Airlines chief executive policy changed after video of a man being dragged from his airline seat went viral. Oscar Munoz telling ABC's Good Morning America.
This will never happen again.
Why did that happen? Why did it happen?
Yeah. They wouldn't
They
give
were
peanuts
overbooked.
for free.
No,
They were overbooked.
They weren't overbooked.
Oh no, they had to put
Their
4,
plane was completely full. Completely
And they
full.
wanted 4 people.
and they needed 4 seats for 4 United employees.
Correct.
So they kicked 4
Needed to be
customers.
4 United employees needed to be moved to another city to get another plane.
Which, by the way, was only a 4-hour car ride away.
I think, Tom, they were positioning for the next day. That
So-
crew needed to fly the plane the next day.
So here's what
So
happened.
4 hours.
They were repositioning crew, and they asked for volunteers, and they got only a few, and they needed some other seats.
I don't think they got any.
They ain't got any.
Oh, that's right. Then they called random
They
numbers.
started at 400, nobody volunteered. They went to 800, nobody volunteered. They picked 4 people at random. A couple went ahead and accepted it.
They had to.
And then, so they needed 2 more off, and the Asian guy was one of them.
And he didn't want to go.
Yeah, he refused, so they called security.
Security knocked his ass out and drug him off the plane.
No, well, boy, did they have a lawsuit on their hands, huh?
Well, the way
Legally,
kicked
they
him
were
off-
okay.
The way they kicked him off was terrible.
I think legally.
Mark, can I,
You
this
haven't
is
seen
not
the
for
video
our
of it?
channel, but this is
You haven't
for
seen the
Steph's
video?
channel.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Disable
Completely
comments.
Well, they're yanking a guy out of his seat, and then they drag him.
Facebook?
The other customers are saying, "Oh my God,
look.
stop!
I don't know
What
where
are you
to find
doing?"
that on settings or
Let me
whatever.
look, see if I can find it.
Yeah.
It's amazing that that's legal when they have to give a pin customer.
Because it's a private company, they can do what they want, is that the concept? I don't know.
I'm sure in the fine print it says you can bump anybody at any time for any reason, but I think the bigger story is it's just a huge corporate blunder. And, crap like that happens sometimes.
Well, and on the
That's
first day,
bad.
he came out and said, I stand behind everything my employees do.
That's right.
The guy was a jerk, blah, blah, blah.
He so messed up. He should have immediately apologized. I think he should have offered
But
the guy.
that's battery, isn't that batteries you're touching?
Security was doing it.
Yeah, but that's.
Click settings button.
I'm sure that's what his lawyer.
The little cog.
I imagine.
Click on video manager. You there?
Hold on, what do I do now, Mark?
Click on settings.
Got it.
Video manager.
Got it, thank you.
And then,
Then what?
hold on, I'm looking.
Do I have to select the video?
No. Yeah, choose the video.
Okay.
And click on the small arrow next to the edit button. And then info and settings.
Got it.
And then
Thank you.
advanced settings.
Oh my God, so I have to do each video.
Advanced settings. Uncheck.
Okay.
Allow comments.
Advanced settings, okay, I'm looking for, okay, gotcha, thank you. Allow, don't allow, okay, thank you. 690.
That sucks, so you got to do it on each one, I
Well,
guess.
she just doesn't want them, and I don't want
Say,
to.
keep your opinions to yourself.
I want to help her on this, because she has some stuff up there, some fake videos, and people are just slamming them, and she just doesn't want that.
Yeah, who wants to see that?
People are so.
I mean, first of all, who cares? I mean,
Comments.
if you have a, why people care? I mean, if you don't watch it if you don't like it.
Exactly.
Just like I did at Colorado.
Well, or let Dan get everybody stirred
Dan's
up.
probably doing it. You're probably
Dan's probably commenting
Hey, I
on
was
all the
stirring that
videos.
pot wasn't stirred up good enough.
I can't stand when people do that.
When we come back on air, Tom, will you announce that the 10 slots are
Never.
full? Tell him, quit
I
calling
can put
the
it on right
office.
now.
Never.
Tell
I
him
want you to.
Tell him Excel Roofing has
Suffer.
exceeded.
I said,
the
resubmit for
maximum
free gutters
capacity.
cleaning. Jay says, nah, 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 nah.
I'm gonna get on and say, okay, we've exceeded our 10 callers, but if you continue to call, I will make sure Tom goes out there with me and we clean the gutters together.
Now you get a free steak dinner.
Yep, let's turn over to the free steak dinner now.
A personal meet.
I wouldn't put any strings on it.
Huh?
I wouldn't put strings on the free steak dinner. Let's do a free steak dinner.
For anyone who calls.
At the Chop House.
Your offer is way too complicated. No, it is. It is, really. It's way too complicated.
No, it isn't.
I think you should say, for the first 5 people to call
He's
for
just
a
jealous.
re-roof estimate, we'll give you a steak dinner.
He's just jealous.
No, he's saying that if they call up with
So
a
where's
leak repair,
that steak
if
dinner
they call up
gonna
with a
be?
leak repair and we can't figure out what the leak repair is, we'll give you a steak dinner. I think that
You don't
sounds
like
too
that?
It just sounds too complicated to me.
Plus, sounds impossible.
Complicated.
Because you know you're going to, yeah.
I know I'm going to
Hi,
fix
David.
it.
Okay,
Not
so
a problem.
5 reboot inspections.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. What's new in your life, and how can I help you? That's what I want to know. How can I help you? I asked that show. I've been asking it for 39 years, and I'm asking you, how can we help you? So all you have to do is call us, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Today is Roofing Day on the Troubleshooter Show. We're talking about roofs and roof pitfalls and people, contracts and protecting yourself. We have Petrali Roofing with us, Dave Petrali specifically, with Chris King, his customer service manager, marketing director. They're from Colorado Springs. We have Jay Bretz from the Denver metro area and beyond, and he's with Excel Roofing. We can talk anything you want with roofing. We are also waiting for results on ransomware. You know, people's computers are being held hostage all over the country with encryption, and they have to pay ransom to get their computer unlocked. In many cases, they pay, and it's unlocked. In other cases, they pay, and it's not unlocked. Some of these crooks go so far as to have a customer service department to help you get your computer back. Once they do this and you pay the ransom, everyone recommends you start from scratch and really reformat, get rid of everything. And then, of course, institute some pretty strict security measures. Now, we have interviewed security experts, and we're also going to find out if they were able to crack her computer without paying the ransom and where that stands. So we'll get a follow-up on that. I also have been wanting to talk about United Airlines. I think what they did was ridiculous. I think everyone does. You know, they asked for volunteers to leave the plane so they could put some of their employees on the plane to reposition them. The repositioning was not critical. It was not immediate. It was not an emergency. And then when they asked for volunteers and didn't get them, they picked names at random. And when the guy refused, they literally removed him physically. And they did him physical harm. Now, since this happened, as the media always does, they always seek, as I say, to elevate those who are low and to knock down those who are high. That's what they do. That's their cycle. So if you are, for example, the guy with Obamacare, and the Obama guy, the plumber that confronted Obama and said about share the wealth, and he became famous.
Joe the plumber.
Then they went after him and found out a lot of bad stuff about him. That's what the media does, you see. And then this guy that got kicked off the plane, he's a victim. Then they go looking into his past. They find out he's a medical doctor who lost his license because he was soliciting sex for drugs. Okay, that's a bad thing to do. That still doesn't negate what happened with United on that plane. It just doesn't negate it. It's wrong. And I think that United was just, there's no excuse. But, you know, let's all be honest about this. The airlines in general suck. Let's really be honest about it. Does anyone know truly an airline that you really, really, really like? You know, we fly based on the availability, the time, and the price. First, we go for the schedule. We want to know, are they flying when we can fly? Now, we'll even alter our schedule a bit for price. But there's a balance between price and schedule. I'll bet you there is not one person alive that I can think of that actually chooses an airline. I don't care, and I have never said, no, I'm going with United, or I'm going with Delta, or I'm going with Frontier. Here's what I say. This is cheap. Let's do this. This is a good time, and it's cheap. Let's do this. Do you know anyone that shops actual brands? Why do airlines have brands? Nobody cares about their brand.
Richard Branson.
No one shops that. No one shops the brand. We know the brands. I get you. We know the brands, but we don't shop the brands. I've often said that they ought to run an airline, the entire aggregate of airline seats, they should run like Uber. They should run it like a commodity. You book seats for a time and a price, and they come out to you, and all the airlines should get together and simply auction seats. That's all they should do. I don't think anybody cares what airline, that the animals on the tail, the Southwest thing, who cares? I mean, am I wrong? Jay, do you think that that airlines are brand-centric?
I do think that people shop brand
Oh,
all things being equal. If the times are more or less the same, the price is more or less the same.
And when is that? When does that happen?
But if you have a lot of miles on United, you'll say, okay, I'm going to book United because I've got the most
Not
miles
because of United, because of what you get.
Yeah, but I'll do Frontier as an absolute. Even if I save money, they'll be an absolute last because the seats are too close. They just suck. They charge for everything.
Okay, but you're avoiding them. You're not going to them.
That's right.
Okay, so I'm saying no one shops. I don't think anyone shops specifically for an airline. I don't think they do. I mean, I don't like any airline. I can pick out flaws with every one there is. Do you like airlines? Are there any specific airlines you love? Anyone? Jay? Dave Petrali? Anybody?
No, I'm
Chris King, you're here with Dave. Are there any airlines you love? Really? Yes? No?
No, I'm going to go when it's available, when I can go.
Exactly.
And if I can get the cheapest price possible.
Chris, how do you select?
Ditto, the same thing.
Yeah, but if you're going overseas or something, you're going to want a nicer seat or something, a 12-hour flight.
No, you want that cheapest price. That's what people do first. I was a ticket agent for 10 years before I got into the roofing business, and people want the cheapest price.
Yes.
I used to have people tell me.
That's exactly right.
I used to have people tell me they would be so mad.
I know you do. Yeah.
I was the customer service manager at one of those desks where people, they miss their flight, they go to. They would scream at me and say, I'm never going to fly this airline again. And I would, for real, I would see those people later on. I would recognize them, and it was all about the price.
303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. I'll take your opinions on that, but I've not heard one person say what United did was right. This guy was also, I think he was a little anxious. He's I got to get home. I got to get home. I got to get home. You know, when you travel, you're a little anxious anyway, right? People are sensitive when they're traveling. And, you know, you wait and you wait and you wait. You finally get on the plane. You're situated. You're thinking about getting home. And then they come on and say, we need you to leave. It is a difficult thing. Let's face it. It's a very difficult thing. Yes.
It's a very difficult thing, Tom. And back to my airline days, it's this loss of control. We're used to being on our own schedule and being able to do things when we want. All of a sudden, the airline is in complete control of you. They're going to tell you when you're going to leave or if you have to stay.
They get all these special rules, too. Like, they can keep you on that tin can for like 3 hours without letting you off and stuff like that. There's no other industry that can do weird stuff like that.
That's right. So it's that loss of control, and people get really, really anxious.
Can you imagine if you got into a taxi cab and the driver is completely over your life at that point?
It would be
only
horrible.
on an airplane.
Yeah. That happens in New York, by the way.
What does? Oh.
The taxi cab driver being in charge of your life.
Well, yeah. Listen, there are a lot of things we can discuss on this. If you have any comments, hey James, and I'm going back to Larry very quickly. Larry has a wonderful story, but James, I saw you had a roofing question. Go ahead for our roofing expert there.
Yes, sir.
Or
thanks,
both
Tom.
of them. Yes.
Interstate, which I believe is on your referral list, did an inspection and thought I would have no problem getting an insurance claim for a new roof. And
Yes.
when the State Farm inspector came out, it was a 180-degree opinion on the hail damage.
What do you mean?
So,
they disagreed totally?
Totally. The roof inspector saw it on the shingles and saw it on some of the metal pipes coming out of the roof.
You're talking about the roofer now. The roofer when you say roof inspector.
Yes, the roofer, the roof company.
Yes.
That hail damage on the shingles, hail damage on the metal pipes.
Okay.
The State Farm inspector showed the same things on the metal pipes, but said absolutely no hail damage on the shingles.
You know what I'm going to say, don't you?
I know what you're going to say. I want to hear what Jay and Mr. Petrali have to say right after you finish. Go ahead.
Well, my question is, if I get another roofing company to do an inspection and it's similar to the first, I go back and get another insurance. Somebody's right, somebody's wrong. Or
That's right. It's called
How do I find that?
you go through what's called the appraisal process. But before I explain that, I would like Dave Petrali. What would you do in a case like this, Dave?
Where the inspector is saying that the roofer is saying, or both are saying actually, that there's hail damage on the pipes, but not on the rest of the roof. At least the roofer is saying there is, but the inspector is saying there's not. I would say that's pretty. I'd call that a miracle.
What do you mean?
I don't know how it hailed on the pipe and not the rest of the roof, but I'd say that would be pretty fantastic.
So they're being ridiculous, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
So
he said what he thought the hail damage was the bubbling effect when they manufacture the shingles and how those pop over time, and that's how she explained
Okay, Jay Bretz, what do you think? What would you do?
It's pretty cut and dry. You take a square, which is 100 square feet, you mark it off, and you count how many hail hits you can find.
But they're not saying there are any. They're saying there are none of them.
If there's not
She said there's no hail hits.
If there's not 8 hail hits per square, then the roof is not totaled.
But they're not even acknowledging that the hits are hail. What are they saying?
But that's the criteria, Tom, for totaling the roof, is if there's hits on the shingles, not if the metal pipes are all bent up.
The question is, what determines hail damage?
Exactly. That's the question.
How do I figure out who's right?
That's a good question. I can tell you what happened to me.
There's an appraisal process we'll go through. Dave, go ahead quickly.
Many years ago when we moved to the Tulsa area, everybody was getting new roofs around me. I'd been in the business for a long time, but I was from California and I did not know how this worked. But when I was confronted with the situation, everybody's getting new roofs around me. I wonder what the deal is. I called the insurance company. They came, they looked at it, and they said, you have $250 worth of damage. Oh, okay. I was not there. I called them back out. They came back out.
Yeah.
Went to $950, and I said, okay, can you tell me what shingles to replace? And they said, no, Mr. Petrol, you know how this works.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I'm actually from California. I don't know how this works. I've replaced whole roofs, but not parts of roofs. And they said, no, you're just being a hardhead, Mr. Petrol. They sent somebody else out. It went to $1,700. I got a hold of somebody in Dallas that was worked for Owens Corning. His dad was the president of Owens Corning. He said he came out and I said, would you do an MDA analysis on it? Microscopic defect analysis. He did that. It was proven that.
So what's the whole point then? You're saying that.
I'm saying that it's very subjective on what hail damage is. When I got the report done, I called the supervisor of a farm bureau actually, and they said, I said, I have a report here. Would you like to look at it? They said, no, we don't want to see that. Oh, I said, well, you just might want to look at it.
So what ended up happening?
I went in. He looked at the first 2 pages and he said, oh, Mr. Petrali, we're sorry our camera was bad that day.
Now, here's what we're going to recommend. I recommend the appraisal process, but first a public adjuster. A public adjuster we'll talk about coming up.
All right, Tom, we're friends and all that. You've got to announce that the gutter thing's off. Come on, man.
Keep calling.
Come on, man. Help me out on this.
I'll keep your banner up there. It says reach limit for free gutter time. Nah.
Yeah, and the old people, we're up to 13 now because these old people just keep calling the office.
I want my gutter cleaned, young man.
I've been listening to Tom Martino for 25 years.
Yeah, really.
I love Jay.
I say, watch for next time Jay is on the show.
I want my free gutters. Tom said free tires from Alaramas. I never got those.
Oh, man.
And now I didn't get my free gutters.
Remember what I did to him? I heard that. He was pissed.
Is that why he hasn't been calling in lately?
I said right away, it's just a joke. It's April Fool's. I said it immediately. People called up and made a deal about it. Come on. We're trying to be like sure.
The hair splitters. That's what they are.
Heading over to the I-25 interchange.
What do you mean free?
Sunny and pleasant, a high of 75. Right now, 58 and partly sunny. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner.
I don't know. If you can't prove 8 bruises per square, you're not going to win an appraisal. You are not.
That's the thing. They have to
photograph it.
They have to
provable bruises per square.
But
it's
provable is
it's cut and
something
dry.
else.
Well, yeah, did the roofer get up there with his quarter and mark it?
I've seen people do that.
Not on the roof. That's so strange. How is it on the pipes and not
Because maybe the pipes are made out of some 35-gauge super thin aluminum press or something like that.
It's still hail damage.
So the roof would
But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Every pipe can be beat up if you can't find 8 bruises per square on the shingles.
Why do some insurance companies pay for the pipes?
I know. I know what you're saying, Dave.
So it either has hail damage or it doesn't.
I've had this discussion 100 times. I have.
What happens if you have cement roofs and then the metal gets hit? They still have to pay out on the claim, right?
That's right. They pay out on the price.
Well, they don't. They're not obligated to. If you read through the insurance, that would be an appearance thing. It's not damage damaging the functionality of that heat
How about if the
gun.
hand was this big and it knocked the pipe over?
Well, hell yeah, they would be obligated to pay for the pipe then. Yeah,
Come
of
on,
course.
man.
They're having exclusions.
Bowling ball size.
Dave, what you're saying is because I can see hail damage on the tops of these pipes, then there has to be hail damage on the shingles. So you should total it.
I mean,
That's your line. And I understand. I've had this discussion many times with many people about it. But, I mean, if you can't prove 8 bruises per square on the shingles, you're going to lose if you've got an adjuster that knows what they're doing. That's the standard.
You wouldn't lose if you had somebody like I had that did MDA analysis, microscopic defect analysis.
Hague Engineering is the recognized authority for hail damage. They're an engineering company out of Dallas, and they've written a whole manual on this.
They determine it.
You will not see in their manual where it says if there's damage on the pipes, then there has to be the roof has to be damaged. It won't say that.
Right. But how is it that they're the determining factor also? They've gone, when I started in this,
they're not.
five hits.
It's negotiable.
It's 5 hits per square. Then it went to 6. Then it went to 8.
Yeah,
then
and
it went
that's
to
what
10.
I want to know. He's got a good question, Jay. Who made that the legal standard?
Who made them the
Hague
authority
Engineering
on that?
Hague Engineering out of Dallas.
So that doesn't mean you can't win.
They're the recognized authority is what they are.
Yeah, but again,
I mean, there has to be some standards, and
well, of course
I haven't seen it change like what you're saying, Dave. Ever since I've been in the business for the last 30 years.
Well, with wind damage, you don't have any.
On a cedar shake roof, it's always been 18 hits per square. You have to find 18 cedar shakes that have a dent in them with the crack associated with the dent. It can't just be people walking up there and busting the shakes. There has to be fresh wood. You have to see it. On the asphalt roofs, it's always been around 9 or 10 in my experience.
Well, my experience was 5. It was 5 when I went to Tulsa. It was 5.
Okay, that might have been an Oklahoma deal. Colorado, it's for the last 30 years since I've been doing this here. That's what the standard's been. It's been around 9 or 10 hits per square.
9 or 10. Is it 9 or 10?
It depends upon the different insurance companies. But I would never take a deal to arbitration unless I can prove there's 9 hits per square.
I wonder if you argued I got 5 hits per square on every damn square on the house, why you couldn't get it.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or unless it's in your actual
You know what
policy.
they would do, Mark? They would say, okay, so this means you have a 2,000.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Larry is our author that called in and said that he's writing a book. He heard, by the way, through the grapevine, we had an author on. Well, actually, we had a veteran on, 96 years old, went through Pearl Harbor, survivor, Don Stratton. And then when he was telling his story, his daughter heard him, called her father, who's a best-selling author, or one of the great selling authors for autobiographies and stuff, and also faith-based books, and he came out and wrote a book. We had them both on the show. Now, Larry is writing a book about who, Larry?
About my father-in-law, Robert Sweat.
Now, you say his story is remarkable. We don't want to hear all of them right now, but we do want to hear one, and then I want to invite you and him on the show and see what happens with the book. So what's happening? Tell us about it.
Okay. I need to set the scene slightly. This is shortly after their plane was attacked.
And he was a gunner, right?
Right waist gunner, yes, sir.
Now, a right waist gunner, for those that don't know gunners, tell us what that is.
He manned a .50 caliber machine gun on the right side of the plane, near the middle of the plane body. There's a large window with the machine gun sticking out.
All right. And he sat in there?
Stood, actually.
Stood, okay. And then tell us about, what kind of plane was that?
A B-24 Liberator.
So people can look that up and look at his position. Okay, so what happened then?
Okay. When the plane was attacked, of course, he began to put on his parachute and try to get ready to bail out. Before he could get out of the plane, I won't give you all the details, but the plane began to fall and began to spiral. The centrifugal force threw him against the side of the plane, and he was basically trapped there. But we still don't know the exact cause, but there was a huge explosion which blew the plane apart and blew him out of the plane.
Oh, my goodness. And
then what?
When he blew out of the plane, then what? Yeah, then what?
Well, again, I don't want to go too far, but
I mean, in other words, he was blown away, literally blown away from the damage.
yes, outside of the plane.
That saved his life.
He was knocked unconscious by the explosion.
Yes.
But obviously he did regain consciousness, and he was able to open his parachute and landed somewhat safely. He sprained his ankle among some other wounds that he found.
Does he remember all these stories vividly?
Very much so, at least portions of it. You know, there are some things that are a bit fuzzy. It was nearly 60 years ago. So,
yes. So we're going to have you on the show, and he will come on and tell some of these stories.
Yes.
That'll be wonderful. All right, what's the name of the book, by the way?
Right now the name is Trouble, and that is because the plane's nickname was Trouble.
When you say right now it's trouble, has it not been released yet?
It has not been released.
Okay.
Yet, and it's fairly stable. It's you know, it's something that might change, but I doubt it.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate the heads up. We'll be looking for it. Nolan, talk to me about the airline. Nolan, go ahead.
Sure, Tom. Just wanted to say, love your show, love your team. You guys do some wonderful stuff.
Thank you.
So back in 2000, joined the Marine Corps. I was a machine gunner. I was signed to Charlie Company Weapons 14. Charlie 14. Anyways, we deployed right after 9/11 to the Middle East. I was in the Helo Company, so we did a lot of training in helicopters. Immediately, you know, going feet wet.
Sure, sure.
So that kind of like, you know, at first, you know, helicopter rides were real fun. Then you start wising up and seeing all the dangers. And we had 3 helicopters that crashed. Nobody killed. But it was something that was nerve-wracking. So in 2002, when we came back to the States, that was the last time that I was feet wet, if you will, when we got back to Pendleton.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I get out of the service and come down here to Colorado in 2009 to go to gunsmithing school.
Yes.
And so, you know, now I got to start traveling, you know, seeing friends and whatnot. So I go back out to California. I take a cheap flight, you know, with United. It takes me to Las Vegas.
Yes.
Plane breaks down. Now, I'm 2.5 miles drive from where I'm going. And so I wait 7 hours till they get a new plane and get me out. Right?
Okay.
Now, that was like whatever. I understand.
Sure.
And the second time was literally a couple weeks later, and I went down to Phoenix, direct flight from Denver to Phoenix. Coming back, once again, the plane broke down. This is where it became a little bit of an issue. So they reroute us to LAX. So, or was it John Wayne? I think it's whichever one that goes over the water there by the 405.
And what happened?
So we leave there, and I'm there with another guy. He's a Army 82nd Airborne. And me and him are, you know, he could just smell it on me when we went.
Smell what?
And, like fear. And my face was pale. I was sweating, and like I was losing it. And he was just like, dude, calm down, take a drink, you know, relax.
Yeah.
And that really upset me. And then so this is where it gets really funny. 3 weeks later is Christmas in 2009. And then I go to fly back to California, spend time with my family. And so this time I'm already upset about the last 2 times United.
Yeah, why did you even bother flying him?
Right. So I specifically bought a Delta ticket, right?
Oh, okay.
Well, even though you bought Delta, even though you paid, I think it was like $70 more for the flight compared to United.
Yeah.
It wasn't a Delta flight. It was a United flight.
So what happened then?
So
did you have a problem? You've had a problem literally every single time you've flown United, you're saying?
Three in a row that year. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. And so I get up to the counter, and the lady's like, your seat's sold. And at this time, I lose it. And I felt real bad that I lost in this poor lady because she saw my hoodie, and she saw that I was a Marine. Just so happened her son was in the Marines.
Mm-hmm.
And after she told me that, I profusely, apologized and everything like that. So since then, I'm married now with kids. My wife hates me that I do this, but I specifically spend $200-300 more on flights just so I never fly United.
I don't blame you. I can't say I blame you if you've had that many bad experiences. And really, I'll tell you, again, I'm not sticking up for them. I'm just saying I pretty much think they all suck as far as airlines. I don't know any great airlines. Cheryl, what's going on with you? Hello, Cheryl.
Hi, Tom.
What's happening?
You know what Cheryl you're talking to, right?
I'm talking to Mark's wife.
You are.
Mark Machowski's wife.
Yes, you are. And
Yes,
guess
Cheryl.
what?
What?
We have to catch up on 28 years.
Yes.
We have to catch up.
I haven't talked to you in that long, so what's going on?
I know. What's going on is, first, I got to react. First, I need to thank you. I need to thank you for being our consumer advocate.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so what's going on?
So I've been listening. I am a fourth-generation Coloradan.
Yes.
And I've been listening to you for 28 years.
Yes.
And I can't. Your show is on fire right now.
Thanks.
So my problem is menial.
No, I want to hear about it. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to tell you. First of all, I can't stand airlines or airports.
Neither can
and
I.
I can't stand DIA. And I would like to have a conversation with Pena for bringing it here. Number one, I like Stapleton. So that's my reaction to that.
Yeah.
And actually, I would like to be dragged off of a plane.
What would you have done in that case? What would you have done?
Well, I would like to be put in a hospital so I can rest. So they drag me off, and I get taken to a hospital, and then I get to sleep and rest.
Yes.
That would be nice. The other thing, in response to the author of the book, just call me Trouble.
Well, okay, Cheryl, I got it. Now, you called. I want to hear about these scam calls you've been getting. I need to hear
about
the scams. Right. I want to hear about those calls. Where are they coming from?
Well, first of all, I handle stuff myself.
Yeah.
And then I thought about asking Mark, and then I thought, you know what? I'm going to call Tom.
Tell me about the scams.
Okay. I made the mistake about 3 years ago.
Yes.
I fell for a call that said I had a virus, and I fell for it.
Oh, no. Did you let him into your computer?
That years ago, okay?
Yeah.
So I learned my lesson, and I'm educated.
Okay.
But I keep getting phone calls from Norwalk, Virginia, and they are not.
Are they?
They are not. They're not from India.
Are they saying that? Are they saying they need these ones from Virginia? What are they saying?
Hi.
I mean, what do they want?
I'm going to tell you. They want to do the same thing, and so what happens is I tell them, what you want to do is get into my computer.
Right.
Because you're telling me I have a virus, and then I allow you to get in there, and then I watch the mouse move around.
Right.
Do you think I'm stupid?
Yeah, Cheryl, by the way, this is a common scam, by the way, going on all over where they're trying to get access to computers. I didn't mean to cut that short, but I have to take this break, or Brutus is going to come in here and choke me. Approval reverse mortgage. You hear a lot about reverse mortgages. I'm going to tell you this. Remember this name, Approval Reverse. .com, because they will tell you the truth about reverse mortgages. In some cases, great. In other cases, not so great. Depends on your situation, but it's a great tool for 62 and older in many cases. 303-771-3528.
I announced that the gutter deal's off.
Oh, Mike, why don't you just do it? I forget.
I'm going to. I'm going to stand up and
you can take the mic and say, by the way, Tom. Yeah, you do that. Just say that. By the way, Tom.
The phone's still blowing up.
Just do it.
I will.
Just say, by the way, Tom, and just do it.
Let's extend it to 50 and over.
50 of them, 50 and over.
I know.
The next 10, a free steak with the free
I
butter.
just don't know what to do. I mean, I have to do it, right? I mean, I had to take the call.
Yeah. No, it was perfect. It was obvious, though.
Really? I thought so.
Jay, if you want to get up and say it, I got the camera on you. Our phone is blowing up.
It's going to 50 and over. Free gutters.
Next time I'm on, we'll do the offer again, okay? But right now, we have no more free gutter cleanings available, okay?
But they do have.
If you do need a new roof, though, please call right now and ask for Excel Roofing. We'll give you a free upgrade, okay? So give Excel Roofing a call, 303-761-6400. Thanks.
You can tell he's never done a commercial.
You should,
That's good. I feel like calling up once and say, do a Kramer story. And I was going down the subway, and I fell.
And I was wearing the very same pants I was going to return.
They just keep on going and going and going.
Now that's, what did he call it, a ripped tail, or a, oh, what was it? Oh, it was quite the yarn, or that was some yarn, he told.
Man, you know Seinfeld.
Wasn't it? He said something yarn. I love it. What was it? No, but it was like a tearing yarn. That was a great ripped yarn you told us.
Since 2001, 720-895-0500, NMLS 298191, regulated by DORA, Equal Credit Lender, Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center.
And then the problem with Seinfeld is some people just make stuff up that doesn't even exist. So they try to come up with something that no one can guess because they made it up in their own head. And they can't even find it themselves.
And you bust him on it?
Well, yeah, but he still says that there's something there, even though I know there's not.
What are you talking about?
Your Seinfeld thing, where you say they make a gesture, but yet no one's ever heard of it. No one can find it.
You'll find the episode.
Okay, so Dan, Tom,
Was there an episode where they first started talking about gay? Not that there's anything wrong with that, right?
Yes.
They started talking about how neat they are
Yes.
and how they have certain characteristics. Then he came up with a gesture to describe that.
so Dan, Tom,
Yes.
line 3 is the baby grand piano dropped while moving. I sent you videos and pictures of only the after
Ripping
repair.
good yarn.
Not
That was a ripping good yarn.
Ask her what else. I mean, tell her thank you.
I think that was season 8, episode 14, the Van Buren voice, if I recall.
I don't know what
Now that was a sign I remember, and how
So again, the pictures and video are just after
Yeah, you
the
remember
repairs,
that?
Yes, I
okay?
do.
Not, I don't have before yet,
Yes, I do.
okay?
Oh, that's right.
Because he was
Okay.
eighth, and why did
All right.
Kramer do that?
You know Scott with Mile High Glass?
I remember he did it in the pizza place. Why? Didn't he just accidentally do it?
I had a note,
You know-
and I don't know where it is. It's 9-4.
You know Scott with Mile High Glass from my referral list?
Yeah.
Robert Davis is working for him. And Scott goes, no, Robert sure has some stories to tell about you and Mark. I was like, oh my God.
Robert's story. Was he one of the
Robert.
managers?
Robert Davis, you know, he was
What
at
story?
Quincy. Robert, the young kid. He got married, had a few kids.
Oh, yeah, we went to their wedding.
Yeah.
Hey, Suzanne, was there just a video? I don't
No,
see
there's
it.
pictures too. I'll make sure it's sent. It should
Okay,
have
I
been
got
sent
the
after.
video.
Mark, did you call Jalvin?
No, but I will after the show.
Well, Mark, you have a ripping good yarn, too.
It's a ripping good yarn I have to tell. I love that. I'm going to get that. I'm going to cram that into the show. Well, Tom, that was a ripping good yarn.
You know what you need to do? Since you're such a Seinfeld guy, you guys need to have a Christmas radio show. And
All Seinfeld.
get a Festivus poll.
I'll tell you what it is. Since
No,
you
I'll
guys,
be here when you do.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes, because I don't believe it. I think you got it mixed up with Friends or something.
you'll remember.
They do this.
Yes, then he did something else. He goes, in fact, I think he said maybe we should have, this should be our new symbol. Okay, he was saying, here's what he said, they're always neat, always cleaning, and he does this with a vacuum cleaner. That was his, you watch. So then he'd look at a guy, George, he looked at a guy and he went like this. You watch.
No way.
Guarantee you.
That's a ripping good yarn.
That's a ripping good
So he goes like this.
Okay.
Like vacuuming.
I remember, that's good.
It's a gesture for vacuuming. Sure it is. I didn't make it
I
up.
don't remember.
I didn't make it up.
But it's evident that he means gay when he does that.
Because he talked about them being clean. Oh. Okay. I guess we were talking too much.
And those watching online will know that on Facebook and YouTube and referralist.com.
Tom was telling a ripping good yarn.
A ripping good yarn. We're trying to come up with new creative ways to talk. Okay? By the way, Petrelli Roofing, they were telling us about being age-friendly certification. That's really a good idea if you think about it. There's a lot of elder abuse going on right now. People are being taken advantage of. They're considered a protected group. Did you know that, the elderly?
Absolutely.
So crimes against the elderly would be considered an extra measure.
It's almost like a hate crime.
Yeah. Well, anyway, apparently this age-friendly certification process is going around where people agree to certain things to help do business with the elderly in an easier way. I've never heard of this. I never heard of it before.
Where'd you hear of it? I
heard of it through Chris King with Petrelli Roofing, and she's the marketing director. So What do you have to take a class? I mean, in other words, it's not like the elderly. I mean, people over, I don't know what even is considered elderly anymore. I mean, I always thought 60 was.
Isn't it all individual, too, though? You take a guy, there's some people at 72 that are as sharp as anybody out there.
But I do know, we were talking about soldiers being taken advantage of. Well, the elderly are taken advantage of for damn sure. So what do you have to do to be age certified, age-friendly certified? What do you have to do? Horses?
So,
what?
So here in town, we went through the Better Business Bureau.
Yeah.
And it was initiated by AARP, and they're doing it across the nation.
A program.
It's a program, age-friendly. States are adopting it. There's 8 domains. It's related to outdoor.
Like 8 areas, you mean?
Yeah, 8 domains that affect the elderly.
Give me an
Like, say,
example
like
of what
a
you mean.
park. Do you have sidewalks in your community?
Oh, okay.
Are
I
there
see what you mean.
railings?
But what about when it comes to a business?
But
What do
when
you
it
have to
comes
do?
to a business, for instance, well, for us, we don't have people coming to the
Store.
office
Right.
as much. So, but what applies to us, what's applicable to us is identification of all our employees.
Right.
If we have a contract, we're going to make sure it's in 14 or 16 font.
Okay.
We're going to ask them be sensitive to their hearing. We will be training our staff how to look at someone and identify if they're having a problem hearing.
Or understanding.
And in understanding, we're going to have the certification on our truck.
I think that's a
and
good
we're going to
idea.
let people know that we really care about the elderly.
I think it's a good idea.
It's an excellent idea.
I
Love
mean,
it.
You know, we've heard of woman-friendly business and gay-friendly business and this friendly and that friendly. I mean, we have over the years. You know, listen, what we're trying to do, technically, there should be no specific certification. We should just be like that with everyone, shouldn't we? I mean, you would think that that's the way it is.
Hey,
but
speaking of the elderly real quick.
Yes.
His deal's off, so quick call and quick
oh,
blowing
my
up Excel.
goodness, Jay.
We have to announce it. Our
Yeah,
phone
it's
has
been off for a while. He's been
blowing up.
telling me, please stop. No more free gutter cleaning right now. We reached the end. I almost hesitate to bring up Dave Petralli's special because it's weird. Dave Petralli says if you identify a leak and need help with a leak, they will fix it, or if you have them fix it, they will guarantee it'll be fixed or you get a free steak dinner. In other words, if you say I have a leak and they fix it, okay, you allow them to fix it. They have to fix it their way.
Can we get a gong like the Gong Show?
And if you decide, to have them fix it and they fix it and they have to come back because it's still leaking, you get a free steak dinner.
Dave, just give out a free steak dinner.
No,
I want to know where the steak dinner is. Are we talking Golden Corral? What are we talking
Or
about?
I can always cook steaks.
Well, let's say a free steak dinner
of your choice.
Of your choice. Now, Ben has a comment on United Airlines. Go ahead, Ben.
Hey, Tom. We were on your show a few months ago as a common man, my wife and I.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you recall, I said on our 50th wedding anniversary, we were going to Hawaii.
Yes, I remember you, Ben.
Yes, and what we did, Tom, we went through AAA Insurance at that time, or the people that booked the flights. And
I see.
Yeah, they booked us on United. We have already paid for the flight. We paid for the hotel and motel. And if something would happen that we got kicked off, I would be so pissed. I don't know what.
No, I know you would. I mean, why would everyone would be pissed? I think.
Would you take $1,350?
Yeah, that's what they offer.
You know what, Mark? I probably would if
I
I
might
was
too.
guaranteed the next flight out.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends what's going on. But if you got to get home, man, I think it's a bad deal.
Well, that and the fact we've already paid for the hotel and everything up front, and I would expect if we had to miss a day or two, they would cover that, but maybe not.
No, I don't think they do.
But yes, I would take the $1,350 and catch the next flight if they would guarantee it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. And I'll tell you, I get that mindset. Once you're in that seat, especially, and you're ready to leave, that's very disrupting because you have friends on the other end, you have family, you have dogs, cats, who knows what you have. You know, it's just unreasonable to expect people to just give up their seats.
But when you buy that ticket, man, you are saying that you will get off if they ask you to get off.
What other business operates that way?
None.
Wayne? What's happening, Wayne?
Hey, so I'll make this quick, Tom. Nice talking to you.
Thank you.
My mom was signed off by the doctors a couple months ago. She has dementia, and she moved in with me.
Now, when you
5
said
weeks
she was
ago.
signed off, what does that mean? What do you mean signed off?
That means they said saying that she can't live on her own.
So, in other words, she was ruled by the doctors mentally incompetent.
Correct.
Not by the courts.
That's correct.
Okay, now what?
So my sister sold her home, and so she has creditors that are coming after her. So we've called a lot of them and said, you know, she's got dementia, she's not going to pay it, blah,
Well,
blah, blah.
it doesn't get her off the hook for bills. You know that.
Right. Well, I do. Well, okay. So, I do have power of attorney.
Mm-hmm.
She sold her home and got $58,000.
All right, hold on, and I'll come back, because this is important, all right, Wayne? I want to talk about dementia or incompetency and what it means for bills and creditors and money and your obligation since you have power of attorney coming up.
I'm going to go ask news.
I want to know how the computer did. The virus.
Yeah, why can't we figure that out?
Can we call him?
Can you call Dan? I think she's just up to her head.
Call and see what the deal is.
If she has a number. I don't have a number.
I bet they're going to end up paying. Lunch? I say they're going to end up paying to get their data back.
Oh, I'm not betting. I don't know one way or the other.
Bet on lunch. We had that happen to us one time.
Crypto?
Yeah. I had the secretary.
Did you pay?
She went into the spam folder and looked at all of her spam, went to one of those, this is how stupid she was. She went into one of those emails and then opened an attachment from the spam folder.
Does she still work for you?
Hell no. No, but it locked all of our accounting and everything.
Yeah, I know.
So what we did, and they wanted $20,000 to unlock it. $20,000. But we have a daily backup. So we wiped everything and we restored the backup from the day before, and we lost all of that productivity for about a day. And it costs to have the computer guys come in and do everything.
Oh yeah.
I think they charge probably about $500, and then the lost productivity also. So it still costs us.
Oh heck yeah, it does.
Are you guys doing a daily backup?
Well, sometimes what happens,
That means no.
if it sat there long enough,
if you're not positive, you're not doing
backup
it.
can be screwed.
I do 2 daily backups. I do 2 daily backups. I do one on the server, and then I have an external hard drive also. You know what that is?
I should do an external.
Okay, so we've got an external hard drive that has a backup, a full copy of everything also. So we've got it on 2 places, and then that external hard drive, it writes over.
We need to tell Heidi to make sure that she
it can handle up to a week or more. It can handle a lot more than that of backups.
I never worked for a company where they didn't have some kind of backup.
But then, so what we do is with that external hard drive.
Maybe she does have a backup.
But that external hard drive,
we have an external, but I don't think she's using it.
She's not backing it up.
Right. Yep. She has one. I bought it for her.
I have 2. That's what I was trying to say. I have 2, and then I swap
I've
those
been
out
meaning to
every
tell
week.
you for an hour now,
And then I
the
put one in the
ransomware,
safe.
she said she fired her IT guy, she's waiting for Charles to
So
get
like,
access to her
worst
computer.
came to worst, every
I didn't
time
know if
the
you wanted
server
to put it on
crashes,
here quite
the
yet.
external
No, you
hard
have
drive
to have
crashes.
her
We got one
Charles-
server fired hard drive.
Charles is in
So, I mean,
South
in the worst
Carolina
case,
because
we
he
would have to go
wasn't
back
doing
up
what she
to a
hired
week.
him to do, he said.
Yeah, I've still got it.
But
Is
she's
this
doing
ransomware
Charles
that they're
is trying
talking
to
about?
remote
Have you heard of this
and is
before?
having a hard
Oh,
time,
it's
so
real.
working it. So you want to
Yeah.
wait? Or
You don't understand
want
what's
to put that on
happening?
his
No, yeah, I'll fire her.
I've got
Okay, and then, I'm sorry, Tom, I meant to
It's a
tell you that
computer
about-
virus. It gets into your computer, then it gets into the whole system, and it blocks everything. You cannot get into your account or in
Doesn't he have
Yes.
menus or something?
Or if somebody hacks. However,
Tom
the
owes
way
me
they
lunch.
said
I told him he
you're
was
asking
fired.
people
We
to
just
get
met.
access. Then somebody gets access, and then it blocks your computer, and then for these.
At Dell, not Del Taco.
Yeah, they wanted $20,000.
If I ever lose,
every night.
Only with the right night, 3 home runs.
Yeah, I've got to make Heidi do that.
Is that what it is? Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, we'd be a mess.
That would be a nice day.
That's-
Make sure it happens today.
No,
If we
one
didn't have that
$40
backup
bottle,
when we got
that
hit
is
with
all
the-
we got.
When we got hit with the ransomware, we've been screwed.
What was that?
I told them the price of dinner for the one you had to pay.
Well, Dell, 6 people.
Oh, why 6?
Because I brought Dan and
Dan and
his
friend.
general contractor. Literally.
A woman?
Yes. Oh, gosh.
She's a general contractor.
Oh,
Dan, are you dating
lovely.
someone? Tanya? Remember?
Oh, look. Oh, Mr. Loudmouth quieted right up, didn't he? I'm on video.
I didn't see Tom get up and do this or anything.
helps you grow your business. Features of
Dan, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, when you buy a ticket, you agree to the contract of carriage, is what it says on Wall Street Journal.
Forwarded to your mobile phone.
So, and a lot of people don't realize every ticket has that. It basically says they are in charge.
Wow.
Well, they have to be.
But then they can remove you.
They can actually deny you boarding if they don't find you properly clothed, in their opinion. There's no.
That's a private company. It's not a government.
Well, that was some employee traffic. A couple weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago on United,
It was a kid.
when they wouldn't let 2 girls on, and they were on buddy passes. They were on some employee associated tickets.
Genesis Total Exterior, siding, windows, gutters, painting, fences, decks. They also do kitchens, baths, basements, additions, large and small, improvements of all kinds. Mark Szymanski, good guy. 303-679-8509, GenesisTotalExteriors.com. Steve's got a roofing question. Now, did we leave off with Wayne? Yes. So, and then Steve's got a roofing. I just want Steve to stand by for our experts, then I'll get to the rest of you, I promise you. So, Wayne, your mom, she has Alzheimer's. She was not ruled incompetent, but the doctors said she shouldn't live alone. And she racked up some bills when, Wayne? This is important. When did she rack up?
So she racked up bills in the past few years. Most of it, was my brother, but that's a whole other story. But there, even in the last year, she's,
Just so you know, creditors are not responsible for people being competent or incompetent. If they enter,
I understand that.
If they enter into a contract, they enter into a contract. Now, if truly someone was mentally incompetent at the time, you could absolutely use that to get out of the contract, but that would be a court ruling of incompetency, which throws in a bunch of other things. And then, but it wouldn't get them out of all their bills. So let's talk about this. You sold her home?
Sold her, yeah. So we sold. Well, we did have a consultation with a lawyer a few months ago before she moved in with us, and the lawyer told us to just, because I was going to file bankruptcy with her because she couldn't afford.
That would have been a very smart thing to do. But what did the lawyer say?
She said, "Don't do that. Just quit paying."
Yeah, a lot of attorneys are morons, unfortunately, but that not necessarily. This case, this is not so bad, because if the attorney meant there is nothing they can take from her, there's no reason to do a bankruptcy, she may be correct in this case, except you just told me that you sold the home. Now, if the home was sold and proceeds were more than the homestead exemption, all of that extra money would be attachable. Or once it is sold and the money is then transferred into a bank account, it is no longer exempted, and it can be liened. So what is the situation?
So the house is like sold. I mean, within the day the escrow, which they shouldn't have done, has already transferred the money into the bank account. They transferred $51,000. She's got another $6,000 coming.
Well, see, that's protected if it's earmarked as homestead exemption money, but once it becomes, here's the thing. When does the nature of money change? It's very important to know. For example, in a bankruptcy or in any kind of collection, 75% of wages are protected. You cannot take 75% of wages. So let's say you had a bank account and you had wages only in that bank account. So let's say you had, I just want to take a silly number so we can, $1,000 in that account. Now, all they can attach is, what, $250, right?
25%.
Right. Yes. So the $250 would be exposed. But when does that become an asset and no longer wages? It's when you screw with it. For example, if you bought something and resold it, or had an investment and put the investment proceeds back in, whenever you screw with it, that's why what you should do is have a separate account for net proceeds of the home. And if you buy or sell something, you take the money out and never put it back in ever again, because if you do, it's unprotected, the entire account.
And if she's getting Social Security each month, he should have a bank account that has that as well.
Just for Social Security.
Now, so she gets a pretty good income a month from working for the county of Los Angeles for many years, But so this money went into that account.
That's
and Wells
attachable.
Fargo
That's attachable.
Is still taking money out of that account.
That's right. And they can take money out. How much are they taking?
You know, I forgot what we owe them, and I'm not sure what they're taking.
What do you? Is this a credit card?
Yes.
Okay. Listen, Wayne, it's really sad right now because if your mom does bankruptcy now, it's too late because all of her assets are going to go to pay her bills. Okay? So you got a problem. You did things the wrong way. And if you just stop paying, you, with power of attorney, could end up with personal liability if you misappropriate those funds. Okay? They can get judgments against her. They can treat her like anyone else and take her money. How much does she owe?
Probably about $60,000.
Okay. Then you can probably kiss that money goodbye unless you can come up with a plan to settle. Or who's being aggressive about this?
Some of the cards are something. You know, my wife does a lot of this. She works in the banking industry, so she's been taking care of most of this. So I don't have all those answers.
Are some of them not collecting at all?
Yes, some are not collecting at all, and some of them are sending us threatening letters.
Well, you know what? She's going to have a problem that you have to address. I'd like to get one of our attorneys on from Wink and Wink to just ask about the nature of the homestead exemption. Because if you can just keep the money in there as homestead and they can't attach it, but her income, it's totally attachable. And I don't know why Wells Fargo is taking it. Do they have a judgment and a garnishment?
No, they have no judgment. It's just automatic withdrawal from her account.
Then she can close the account. There's nothing that says she...
Well, that's the hard part with her dementia is trying to go through a lot of this.
You have power of attorney.
That's right. That's what I tell my wife, but she says we can't sign for her, which I don't understand.
Then what's the power of attorney for?
Maybe it's just medical.
Listen.
No, we actually went in the bank and she signed. Now this was a couple years ago or a year and a half ago.
Wayne, you can close her account if you have power of attorney.
Okay, all right.
But listen, do so wisely. Let's get our attorney on to see what they have to say about it, okay? Steve, what is your... Just hang on, Wayne. Don't hang up. Steve, what is your roofing question?
Yes, hi. Thank you for taking my call. My roofing question is I have a house, and half of the roof is a pitched roof, and it has wood shake shingle on it. The other half is a flat roof. It's tar and gravel. And I had some wind damage that damaged the wood shake shingle portion of it. Insurance came out and said, yes, okay, we'll go ahead and pay to replace the wood shake. And I called a roofing company out. They came out.
Okay, hold on, and we'll have to bring you over in the next hour. We'll answer your question. Plus, we'll get back to this this mom with dementia after this.
You know what we missed
to clean
is,
carpets. And I know
if that's a qualified pension fund, that would be exempt. So they should be able to do the bankruptcy.
Are you sure?
If it's a qualified pension fund, that should be exempt.
No, Mark. The lump sum, the money accumulated is exempt.
Correct.
In the account.
Correct.
But once you take it out as income, it may not be exempt.
That's correct. But if she did the bankruptcy now, anything in the future after she did the bankruptcy coming out would save it.
Right. But the money, if the money is still homestead exemption, she can go bankruptcy too and get out of that too. But I'm afraid if there's cash in the bank, the trustee might take it.
But if it's, I'm saying, if it's in a qualified pension,
I
it's
know
protected.
they can't take the lump sum. You're right.
But you're right. When she's got to pull it out as income, boom.
No, but not after the bankruptcy.
No, not at all.
That's
So
what I
she
think.
probably should go bankrupt.
We need tell me when you're ready. What do we do?
Sorry, I hit something here. Right on your see here.
You have to just hold it by the sides. Tell me, do a countdown.
1, 2, 3.
Did you get it?
Yeah. Nope, let's do it again.
So find out.
I'm gonna. That's a good one though. If it is, I can see him doing it. I just don't remember it.
Okay.
We'll start with you.
I don't think I still don't remember that.
But there's a lot of stuff.
Did you see my copy that I wrote for Duran?
We are watching the regime.
No, I have not looked at it yet.
She told the United Nations Security Council Russia is further isolating
Here it is right
itself
here. Here's the
and
episode.
continues to support
Watch the episode.
Oh, it's only a little bit of it.
I Googled that and I couldn't find it.
Couldn't find what the items talking about.
No, that, you know, Seinfeld show, any single thing that.
I think about
I think Genesis.
the first thing I think.
Here's the picture that's posted on Facebook for today.
Munoz today on ABC's Good Morning America. Quote, this will never happen again. Please drag Dr. David down.
Do you want me to take a picture with Dave?
Yeah.
We'll be bumping them off a little bit. This is what I think of the competition.
Good, David, over there to camera, please.
Do it with this one, or like over there.
Okay.
I think you should do it with you over there.
Do you like them, PJ?
No, no.
They're a little blurry. I can't imagine why.
Like this, yeah.
Oh, yay!
The microphone.
Oh, you look so good. All right,
Oh,
one,
yeah.
2, 3. All right.
I don't recall this back.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tom?
The kiss came in.
Just laugh.
See what you start. How did it choke?
No,
It's where they first started talking.
Oh my
I
gosh.
just don't remember. I'm just not very good.
I'm putting that on Facebook.
Oh, good. No, just come out. That's good.
Oh wow.
What is this about? What Pepsi ad was controversial? Anybody know?
When Michael Jackson's hair caught on
No,
fire?
some crazy. See it here. Okay, I want to see it.
Oh, that's where that girl walks up and hands a Pepsi to the cop.
Oh, yeah, they went viral over that.
What was wrong with
Not so.
Well, she was acting like cops are
They thought
assholes.
that if she gave the cop a Pepsi,
They were negative on
the
cops.
crowd would be quiet or something. And they all went crazy instead. But that was a while ago. That was last week, wasn't it?
It's the Troubleshooter Show.
What do you think it was?
Tom Martino on Talk Radio 630.
Could I walk?
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome. We are talking about all kinds of things, and one thing that came up, Wayne said his mom has Alzheimer's, and he says that the doctors say she's incompetent. She's living with him. She sold her home recently and has how much money in her bank right now?
So right now it's 51,000.
51, and that's what she netted from her home. My question is a homestead exemption protected after it is converted to cash in a bank account? This is Mike Wink from Wink and Wink. Mike, that's the first question. She didn't go bankrupt, so we're wondering if she does go bankrupt. She has $60,000 in bills. Can they go after now that homestead exemption now that it is cash?
It can be protected as cash for up to 2 years after the sale of the home, as long as it's segregated and not commingled into an account where she might receive Social Security or any kind of other money.
Well, Wayne, they put it in her same account, didn't they?
They did, yes.
When did they do that?
It just the other day, I think it was Monday.
Now, would that immediately disqualify it, Mike, just because it was deposited?
Probably not. As long as it's fairly recent, she could move it into like a separate savings account with
Do that
only
immediately.
money in it. Yeah, immediately.
And Wayne, call it home proceeds account on any kind of description after her name.
Okay.
You hear me?
All right.
Like Mabel's home, okay, proceeds account. Now, next question. She has a pension or something from working for L.A. County, right?
Yes, she gets $3,300 a month.
Is there a lump sum somewhere sitting?
No.
Well-
She got that, but my brother took all that. That's all gone.
Okay, so now she gets $3,300 a month. Is it considered deferred compensation? Is it considered retirement pension? Is it what is it considered?
Is it instead of Social Security, like para?
It's considered income. Whatever the lump sum value of the pension is protected as is exempt. So, but so it's basically income. But if that's her only income, that's going to cause no problems for her debt relief.
Okay.
Whatever she has in the bank from it would not be protected. So it loses its exemption when it hits the bank account.
Wouldn't 75% of it be protected?
No, not earnings. It's pension.
Okay. So now listen. So listen. Then after bankruptcy, though, they could no longer take it.
That's right. That's right. And if she's living sort of pension payment to pension payment, it'll be easy enough to time of filing a bankruptcy where that account is low. If she's been saving that money because her expenses are low, then that savings is something that could be taken from the trustee. So we might want to do some planning prior to filing bankruptcy for whatever that is.
But the bottom line is, even though she's in her 80s, is she in her 80s, I guess, right, Rain?
79.
Yeah. Even though she's 79, bankruptcy is viable for her. She has no way ever to pay back 60 grand in bills, and she has Alzheimer's. What do you think, Mike?
I think that's right.
Okay, so here's what I want to know, Wayne. What the hell was your attorney thinking when she said she shouldn't file bankruptcy?
I have no clue.
Okay.
It wasn't my attorney. It's someone we call. I mean, I guess it was my attorney, but we called them for advice and set up a consultation and paid her $375. So.
Okay. So now listen. You should investigate this because they're writing threatening letters and they're taking money out of her account. There are no judgments. There are no collections right now, but there will be, and they'll be able to attach a lot of stuff. In fact, they'll even try to go after those proceeds in the bank. And then you're going to have to fight.
A lot of the money is going for her care, and I mean we're
that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, Wayne.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it might be going for her care, but it doesn't matter.
Just call Mike.
Yeah, I'm going to give you the number 303-410-1720.
Got it.
Okay, now we have someone who wants to chime in. Who is this? This is
Dan Usiak.
Dan Usiak in the Springs, an attorney.
Yeah.
Dan.
Yes.
What did you want to say? You called in.
Okay. Well, I also do bankruptcies, but I think Mike's spot on. I wouldn't contradict anything he said about that. But occasionally I come across a client where bankruptcy's not going to work.
Sure.
It might work out in Wayne's situation. That'd be great. But when it doesn't, if there's a bucket full of cash like the proceeds from the house, sometimes debt settlement is a viable option.
You're absolutely right, Dan. That's right. And I believe Mike Wink does that. Do you do that too, Dan?
Occasionally. I have just a handful of clients where that's a better option than bankruptcy.
I think so.
But I don't go out looking for those cases. It just if it happens to be in the client's best interest.
Listen, I know from personal experience, and I also know from dealing with these consumers over the years, an accumulation of cash becomes very, very attractive to creditors and to trustees. The question has always been, when does paycheck, now I'm talking about earnings, when do they become non-exempt as far as the 75% that's exempt? When does that become non-exempt? I've had trustees argue that it's been sitting in the bank a few years, it's now an asset and no longer your earnings. How do you guys feel about that?
I think that's a judge-specific kind of ruling. That could go. That's a jump ball. I think you've got good precedent as long as you can tie it to the earnings and you haven't been commingling, that it's 75% protected. But certainly time could hurt you, and definitely commingling. Other sources of money being mixed in. At what point, a mixture of other funds, does it lose its identity? Those are the key issues there. But in those kinds of situations, Chapter 13 could make more sense. Where the stakes are a little bit lower. They're not going to take the money. If you lose, you could always dismiss your case.
Okay. Well, you feel the same way, Dan?
I do. I think Mike is on.
Okay.
Spot on there.
So you see why it's important to act, Wayne, don't you? As far as this bankruptcy, right?
I do. I do, yeah.
So you need to start, first of all, wherever you are, you need to consult an attorney, and you need to do it quickly, and then find out how much you can do based on that power of attorney. And what happens, Mike, this is another question, Mike Wink, what happens if his mother truly is incompetent? How do you represent her?
She would need a power of attorney, and
that would be enough. That would be enough.
Yeah, no. So somebody like the son, is it Wayne? Was
Yeah.
that the name?
Yeah.
He could sign documents for her and that sort of thing. You can do it.
All right. Thank you very much. 303-713-TALK. Steve has a roofing question right now. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah. So I had called a roofer out to take a look at replacing the wood shake shingles with an asphalt type shingle.
Yeah, you have a pitched roof and it moves into a flat roof.
Correct. It ties into the flat roof. Correct.
Okay.
And the roofer is basically saying that he could install a new roof on there, but he cannot warranty it because of the way the pitched roof would tie into the existing gravel tarred roof.
Well, how does it tie in now?
So
how does it tie in now? I mean, it ties in somehow, right?
Yes, it does, and I believe what it is that the pitched roof was installed prior to the flat roof, right? So you have your tar paper that would go underneath the tar and gravel roof.
So why couldn't... Okay, I'm going to introduce our guest today. We have Dave Petrali from Petrali Roofing in Colorado Springs, and we also have Jay Bretz from Excel Roofing here in Denver. And guys, where a flat roof ties into a pitched roof, I mean, that's common. I mean...
Absolutely. I don't see anything unusual about that.
There's nothing unusual, Steve.
We see it all the time, but where he's a little bit off is that flat roof would be installed first, and the flat roof would go up the pitched roof, and then the pitched roof would overlap it. But it shouldn't be any problem to replace the pitched roof.
And any roofer that is telling you there's a problem, stay away from.
You could actually do it either way. You could do the one first. It doesn't matter which one you do first.
Yeah, but doesn't it seem logical, though, that the flat roof go up the pitch a little?
Yeah.
What Steve did say is he's got a tar and gravel roof. Undoubtedly, that's a real old roof. So I can imagine that the roofer would like to replace both, and that might be a good idea. But if the flat tar and gravel roof is not leaking right now, that pitched roof should be able to be replaced without having to do the flat roof.
Okay, great. That sounds good then.
All right, guys. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. CJ, what's happening? CJ.
How's it going?
What's happening with you?
All right. Real quick story. So we purchased a home January 25th. The people that were living in the house prior to us, they used a moving company to move out of their home. And it was a light moving in the process, the moving company dropped a baby grand piano down the stairs, hitting the hardwood floor.
God, did it literally tumble down the stairs?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Did it wreck the whole piano?
I don't know. It damaged the railing slightly, but the issue is it left a gouge in the hardwood floor approximately 23 inches with an offshoot and a backwards Y of another 8 inches. Now, the homeowners, the initial people, they filed a claim with the moving company, and then we've been jumping through hoops since January 25th. Now, the insurance company sent out an adjuster. They came out and said, the whole floor is going to have to be redone because they can't match the sheen, and there's no place to isolate the gouge in the floor and so forth.
Well, that doesn't. I mean, there's no such thing that that's impossible to fix. That's what they're saying, right?
Yeah, they to match the flooring to look correct, they'd have to refinish the entire floor. And so then
the question is, when does it become betterment? This is the age-old question. When do you take advantage of something like this and say, okay, well, it's not my fault, I have to do the whole thing, and then you end up getting a whole new floor when really there's just a tiny spot? Or obviously they have to put you into pre-accident or pre-event condition to an extent. But at which point you start benefiting from it, they are allowed to offset and say, listen, this is betterment. It's a judgment call. As our attorney previously put it, a jump ball. It's a judicial question. There is no flat answer. I mean, how bad is it? On the floor You're mainly, what about the piano itself? We haven't even talked about that. What are they going to do about the piano?
Well, the piano was not our piano. It was the people that lived there prior to us moving in. They moved when they were in the process of moving.
I understand. What are they doing about the piano?
I don't know.
Okay. So they have to fix the floor, and you have to be reasonable. So I don't know what the answer is. To say it can't be done is ridiculous without trying.
No, I understand. Well, this is the question. Is they came back and they said, so we had their back and forth with their their refinishing company come out. Their refinishing company came out and said, yeah, we're not going to do it because we can't match it.
Okay.
This is what has to be done.
Okay, that's
So
because
then-
they want more work. So what you need to do is find a company that will try to match it. And if it's close, then you call it close. If it's not, then you worry about that at that time.
Exactly. And so we came out and they provided somebody who said, okay, we can fix it. And he came out yesterday.
Yeah.
And he said, well, it can't be done this way. You're going to have to redo. This is a third person that says this is going to have to be done. I can attempt to fix it using an epoxy. This is the way we're going to do it. This is what the insurance company wants. Okay? If you can get it close, and now it's worse.
Well, you mean you already let them do it?
Yeah, they came in. We said, okay, we're going to agree to.
So it's been done. It's been done. You can inspect it. It's worse. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely, it's way worse.
Way worse. Okay. Can it be fixed again? Is it possible they just didn't know what they're doing? Let me ask you this. What do you want, Steve? Because you probably won't get a whole new hardwood floor. Or CJ, I'm sorry, CJ. What do you want?
No,
what do you want, CJ?
I just want the portion of the floor to look great, to look normal again. Because if I turn it
so here's the deal. Here's the deal, CJ. You have to find someone who knows what the hell they're doing. I don't know what else to tell you. You just have to find someone who will do a better job fixing it. I mean, trust me, there are people that can do it, and then there are people that can't. They may have to put in a whole new piece. They may have to interlace a piece in there. I don't know. These photos tell me nothing, so I don't know what photos I have, but they tell me nothing. I have
Those
a wide
are the
shot.
After repair.
I have a wide shot, and I can see nothing
I sent
here.
like 5 pictures.
All right,
I'm sorry, Tom. I'll send again.
I'll have to look during the break because the pictures I have, maybe I'm not looking at them. I'll look at them and come back with an opinion on this. Frank Duran, the real estate man, if you're looking to buy a home, I'm telling you, there is no one better that can help you. Frank Duran, the real estate man, he's a great negotiator, too, when you do find a home. 303-920-1622. Frank Duran, the realestateman.com. I'm telling you from personal experience and he's helped me, he's helped Mark, he's helped countless neighbors and friends. 303-920-1622. And, of course, most people, when they find a house, they also want to find a loan. Actually, they should probably find the loan first and get pre-approved. It's like a cash offer when you do that with Brent Ivinson at Ideal Home Loans because they guarantee they can help you close in 3 weeks or less if you get pre-approved. It's wonderful. But then they also have other ways they can help you. Brent, what are some of the ways Ideal helps home buyers?
Well, on our home purchase plan, which is free of charge, this walks you through every step of the process. Again, as we've talked about, the key to this is trying to maximize how much home you can get for your payment. And if we've got time to work with credit, if we've got time to work with income, programs, down payment, all those things, if you're someone who's looking at buying later on in the year, call us now. Let's start the process. Let's get a game plan together so that you ultimately are winding up with as much home as possible. And as you mentioned, our 3-week closing guarantee, it's very competitive out there. Let's put you in the position to have your offer rise to the top by underwriting and approving your loan ahead of time.
And all you have to do is call 303-867-7000. 303-867-7000, idealhomeloans.com.
Making America great again? As it turns out, a little harder than I thought.
Failure of Trump care.
Making your wallet great again.
Not one thing. I don't even know what people are talking about. People just love to get pissed off.
No, they're
What is it that's controversial?
they're basically
What are they saying?
they're telling the cops to shut up. Here's a Pepsi. That's how I look at it.
They're being nice. The police are just standing.
It's a gigantic mob that the cops have to be there for whatever reason.
Right, but they're not even a violent.
And-
They're just walking with signs. And everyone's having a good time. There's no violence.
I
They're
take
all
it as
walking.
anti-cop.
I take it as they're walking and dancing and singing, and the cops are just standing there, and then somebody comes over and offers the cops a Pepsi. Yeah, like I see nothing.
There are 5 pictures. Did you get them this time?
And a crash off highway in Denver. Did they try sanding, Suzanne, or what did they try doing there?
So,
Man, I faced this situation a dozen times.
Really?
We get a leak on the floor,
after
and then it depends on the customer.
That's the repair from...
You know what the question is? What's perfection? How perfect is it?
Look at this is after repair. You want to see it?
I can make a better repair than that, personally. And
I tried to tell him to send me
that's
before
the
pictures
entire,
so
that's
we
all
could
he
see.
has is one scratch in that floor he's worried about.
That's the scratch. That's after repair.
Yeah, but
I
just
how
didn't
deep
do
is
it
that
right.
gouge without sanding it out?
That thing can be sanded out for
That's
God's
what
sake.
I thought. What they probably need to do is resand the section, the entryway, something like that. And then where the room break is, like at a threshold,
It's
that's
right
where
at
you
the
make
bottom of the
transition.
stairs.
But you'd have to do that whole area right there, and then take it through the hallway to the next room or something.
This thing is
This doesn't even look like it was
I
sanded.
mean, how much does it cost to refinish, maybe like 200 square feet or
Oh, it's going to be
$1,000?
at least $1,000.
That's what he needs to do. He needs to get some estimates on refinishing that area into an area that's reasonable.
But if that gouge is too deep, they can't sand it. I mean, you can't see how deep it is here. And then how many times has it been sanded? I don't think that's engineered floor.
If it's an engineer, then they can't redo it.
Right. And that we didn't ask them. I should ask them.
Let's talk about stem cell therapy. So many people are getting great results from stem cell therapy.
And the Stem Cell Institute of America knows this. And what they want to do is introduce stem cell therapy to you. Now, they don't expect you to just make an appointment blindly because so many people are talking about it and have so many questions. What they're doing are seminars. And they're asking you to come to a free, no-obligation seminar. They even feed you. All you have to do is listen and learn and then decide, is stem cell therapy for you? You know, I looked up stem cell therapy all these months that people have been talking about it. I've talked to people who've had it, and I've talked to doctors. They all agree these are packed with human growth hormones and growth factors, not hormones, but factors that help grow cartilage and tendons and actually repair like new joints, whether it be your shoulder, your elbow. Wonderful results with knees, hips, and backs. And what you need to do is just learn how it works. No one's asking you to just delve into this, but so many people can avoid surgeries, or you can prevent sometimes the time when it takes to get a surgery. You may be able to delay a surgery, and in all cases, people are having some kind of relief and major relief from pain. Give them a call and find out more. Go and see. All they ask is that you reserve a seat for the next seminar and find out for yourself. 720-580-CELL. 720-580-CELL. Certainly, doing nothing will change. At least take the first step and become informed. 720-580-CELL.
I gotta set the table. Pull up a chair, sit at the table. Today at 1. Eat it. I don't mind eating peas if it meant getting the
whole hardwood floor? No. I have to refinish the whole, not for a brand new one, but to refinish the entire floor of the house. Because there was a leak and a couple of the boards got discolored or maybe warped a little bit.
So did you end up doing it?
I always seek resolution, you know me.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255.
Okay, I looked at the pictures finally. Got a picture. Got to look at them. And CJ.
Yeah.
Okay. This is we're talking minor damage, right? Okay. And what I'm saying is this: that the way they repaired it is very conservatively because they didn't want to grind it out. That thing can be sanded and feathered out, and then stained and blended. It can be. Now, I don't know who you're using. I don't know if you went to the referral list. I doubt it. I would start there and look at the hardwood people we have. The problem with this thing, it's not a big enough job. They're so busy that it's hard to get people to do repairs. But the point is that it's just not a big deal. It's not. That looks like a very minor problem. Now, worst case scenario is that you fix it the best way you can and take some kind of reduction in value for your home. It would be minimal, but some kind of cash adjustment. So when you do sell it and somebody complains about it, you say, well, if you have your floors refinished, you know, here's some money to go toward it, or you lower the price of the house, you know, $1,000. But the thing is not a major problem, and I definitely don't think they would ever owe you a whole floor. But I do think it can be fixed. This is not. This is not a big deal. You just got to find someone to fix it. I have seen things way worse than this.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm not arguing.
No,
that
I know you're not.
Floor.
I know you're not.
I'm saying they're saying that they're not going to do it, and that was the best.
Who's not going to do it?
The insurance company. That's what they offer.
But you're not dealing with it. I would deal directly with the people who did the damage.
Well, that was the movers, Tom, and it's the movers insurance company he's dealing with.
No, I would sue the people. Don't go to small claims court and sue the people.
The people that sold him the home?
No, the people that moved the piano. Period.
Gotcha.
Just sue them directly. Don't mess with insurance companies. He's not obligated to fight with professional fighters. You know, you don't have.
My question to you is then, it's Allied. The movers for Allied Moving. How do I go to find out who those movers were? Just take them to small claims court.
I would take Allied. I would take the people who are moving out of the house, who hired Allied.
Whoever's on the contract you signed.
And I would say at all. I would have anyone associated. Do a John Doe. I would do the Allied and also the consumers that hired them. I would sue for the max, $7,500 in small claims court. And do that based on an estimate you get for somebody that has to feather that out the right way and finish it off. You do not have to fight with insurance companies. I am so sick and tired of people fighting with insurance companies. Do multiple defendants and drag their asses into small claims court. Just drag them in. You'd be surprised when push comes to shove and that really happens, how pissed off people get because they have to go to court and defend it. You know, like I said, just go to small claims court. You're going to get something. Who has a suggestion here? Hello, I can't read it. Ethan, go ahead.
Hi, we've chatted before. I'm with Construction Resolution Services.
Yes.
I'm running a situation similar to this, but as a workaround, I generally know when I'm in over my head. I hired an interior decorator, and what they did was suggest perimeter trim around the room, including the area that was damaged. So the floor then looks like, and when I say trim, I mean a floor with a design.
I understand what you're talking about.
Contrasting color.
I know what you mean.
And looking at that floor increased its value because it had more style to it.
If you could do that at the bottom of the stairs, if you could make it as part of a pattern or a trim piece, it would be wonderful. Problem is now I don't even have a wide shot. I just have the tight shots, and I don't know where that lies in the floor.
And that's fine, but it was a complete perimeter treatment, and well, it looked absolutely upscale, custom.
No, I understand, and that is a great alternative. It is. 303-713-TALK. I just said, bottom line right now, get some estimates, and then take those people to small claims court. Annette has a roofing issue. Go ahead, Annette. What's happening?
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Annette.
You know, I'm really frustrated right now.
Why?
I'm in the process of selling a home. It's been on the market 12 months.
What? Wait a minute.
Well, I've got buyers. But the thing is, I've had 3 out of numerous showings. I've had 3. The inspectors tell the buyers there's a roof problem. In the last 12 months, I've had it certified twice. Roof brokers was one, and the other was...
What do they find? What do they find wrong?
Too many layers. I just lost a buyer today.
Well, you understand. How many layers?
I'm just being told there's just too many layers.
How many layers?
I don't know.
Well, maybe there are. And if there are, then I don't care what the certification does. All the certification says is that it's in good condition, not leaking. It doesn't say it's up to code. It doesn't say that it should be accepted.
Doesn't generally too many layers mean there was a problem?
No. Layers mean when you have a hail damage, you don't have to strip and replace. You can leave the old layer down. And some municipalities let you do a certain number of layers.
Tom, these days most municipalities are going to make you strip that roof all the way to the deck.
Yes, but this was done. Yes, this is years past.
You could do up to 3 layers, and this is possibly getting into an insurability issue. That insurance companies do not want to insure a house that has multiple layers of roofing.
But just because one layer is acceptable now, it's whatever was acceptable at the time. However, if it is an insurability problem, then that would be a barrier to sale. And you would have to do something about the roof, Annette.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Now, is it normal wear and tear? The house is 30-something years old. I've been here 2 years.
In other words, are you asking, is it an insurance thing? No, of course not. It's only insurance if there's an event.
Okay.
Insurance is not a warranty. Insurance is not there just for the homeowner because it wears out. It's there for an event. So you can pray for hail, or you can just go ahead and replace it.
Okay. I see what I'm looking at then.
Yes. That's what you have to look at. You have to look at the reality of the situation. If it's going to be a barrier to sale, go ahead and fix it. But, man, I can't believe you waited 12 months. Do you know the money that you lost by not fixing it the first time would have been made up for?
Have your neighbors gotten new roofs lately?
Annette, have there been storms lately?
No.
Okay. Listen, you got to get on that. How much is the roof going to cost to replace, do you know?
No, haven't had anybody out to give me an estimate, but I know who I'm going to call, XL Roofing.
Is it a regular house like what? What size?
It's a residential home, 2,700 feet.
2,700 feet with just asphalt shingles?
Yes.
Look, you can do a really low-cost asphalt shingle on a 2,700 square foot house. What's a ballpark? Oh, if you have to strip layers, what?
$6,000 to $10,000. Annette, when you call the office, this is Jay with Excel. Make sure that you let them know that you heard us on the radio today, and we will try to get you the best deal possible, okay?
Wonderful. I knew I called the right people. Thanks, Tom. Jack.
All right.
Jay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Let's talk to Ala Ramos at Pro Auto Care about the women's special. It is Wednesday, and you're going to do this every Wednesday for ladies, so Wednesday, Women's Day. Go ahead, Al.
Hey, Yvette, Tom. It's a great day, and here's one of our offers. So part of the maintenance everybody needs to and always has to do, keep your car running long, is change your oil. We do it with synthetic blend Kendall oil. It's a great product, premium filter, do inspection fluids. But here's another item, your air conditioning. A lot of people never service them, and all of a sudden, cars take longer and longer to cool down. Well, servicing makes them work better. The only way you know if they're right is to test them. We're going to connect gauges, test the pressures and the output temperature. We're doing that at no cost. That's a $59 value. We'll do the oil change for $24.95. That's a great deal. Come on in. You'll save some money and get to meet us.
It is a great deal, and I love Pro Auto Care. That's where I take my car for regular maintenance. They are attentive, and I call them caring as far as the reminders. They're like your car nannies. Give them a call, 303-PRO-AUTO. 2 locations, near Evans and I-25, near Bowles and Santa Fe. 303proauto.com.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock.
I-25 starting to stack up downtown in both directions, mainly between Alameda and I-70. Lots of people heading down to Coors Field to catch the Rockies game this afternoon. Off-highway, a couple of crashes, one southbound Calumath between 7th and 8th, another wreck northbound Colorado at I-25. The Cherry Creek Dam Road is shut down once again today until later on this afternoon. And up in the high country, eastbound I-70 between Eisenhower Tunnel and Loveland Pass. Well, the left lane is blocked due to construction. The weather forecast, mostly sunny and perfect for a Rockies game, a high of 75. Right now, partly sunny and 65. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 K-How.
Do you use
They probably kept doing it through multiple episodes, right? Because that's
Once they do something like that.
insider thing.
Yeah, it was an insider thing for gay.
So what's the signal for the Van Buren boys, the game? You remember that one?
I don't know if I saw the episode. Tell me what that is.
Who is Van Buren, do you know?
No,
President?
President Van Buren.
Oh, no, okay, that. So what about it? There was a signal for him?
Yeah, and Kramer got the signal because they were coming here and they're going to rough him up.
Oh, there was a gang, the Van Buren boys,
Well, that's
named after the president.
Right. And the guy that became the gang was the guy that got that George didn't take the.
Because he didn't want to be an architect. He wanted to be a city planner. He was thinking too big. George goes, whoa, you don't want to go there. You want to be an architect.
And so he took a scholarship away.
He took the scholarship away.
So he joined the Van Buren boys and went after George.
Oh, no. The Van Buren boys?
As a gang.
You know there had to be a real gang called the Van Buren boys.
Think?
I would think so, yeah.
No.
It's too obscure. You think they just...
Of course they did. Larry David's insane.
But a lot of it was based on true.
You know, I was staying at this hotel in Upper East Side, New York. I'm in the exercise room, and on the treadmill, Larry, he was on Broadway, so he was staying there. Okay. Larry David right next to me on the treadmill, and I said, Steph, do you know that? She says, I don't know who he is. I said, she looks him up on the phone, $9 billion and net worth and all that. And I went up to him. No one was bothering him. But I went up and said, you know what? I think you're a creative genius. I love your work. He says, thank you. Come see me on Broadway. Otherwise, what did he say? Something like,
Plumline Services for plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. Isn't it nice to have one company you can call for free second opinions on all major repairs, and they will tell you the truth. They also have a wonderful electrical offer. I love this one, okay? It's find, fix, or free. $149 for any electrical problem, find, fix, or free. That means that they're going to find it and fix it for $149. Now, or it's free, right? So here's what I mean. Yeah, obviously, if they find a major problem that they can't fix for $149, there's no downside. They just tell you what it is in writing, and then it's a free call. So no matter what, you're either going to get a free diagnosis or you're going to get something fixed, all for just $149. They also have new furnaces right now with an air conditioning system, and this is the time to do it in the in-between season for savings more than $2,000, which includes discounts and also tax rebates and energy rebates and a 10-year parts and labor warranty and also 0% financing if you need it for up to 3 years. They even have a program for people with challenged credit if you need it. Why don't you give them a call today? 303-586-1086, 303-586-1086, plumlineservices.com.
Talking about the news that's happening as it's happening. Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
All right. I'm Tom Martino, and we have Petrali Roofing. When they're not here, I'm going to spell petraliroofing.com. It's Petrali, P-E-T-R. A-L-I, Petrali, P-E-T-R-A-L-I, petraliroofing.com, 719-375-8773. That's 375-8773. That's a 719 area. Okay, and excelroofing.com, excel as in excellent, excelroofing.com, 303-761-6400. Sean, what's happening with you?
I was actually just calling about that caller, the seller, who can't sell her home because inspectors keep saying there's a roof problem.
Right.
Even though it's been certified. I wish that I had had those inspectors a year and a half ago when we bought our home.
What happened?
We bought our house. I actually called you about a year ago about it. We didn't know that too many layers would have made our house uninsurable.
Wow.
So we bought a home and ended up then needing to pay out of pocket to put a brand new roof on, which we had Excel do it, and they did a stunning job.
Now, how did you know that it was uninsurable? Did the insurance company come out to inspect it?
Yes.
Jay, how often do they come out and inspect roofs?
Normally they'll come out when the house is about to be insured. So if somebody buys a home and you want to get insurance on it, now they're doing pre-roof.
They never used to do that.
No, they didn't. But there's been so many roof scams and so many hailstorms in Denver in the last 10 or 15 years. They're doing those pre-roof inspections to make sure there's no roof damage before
Right, because a lot of people would collect the money, not do the repair.
Sell the house and then leave somebody else holding the bag. That's exactly right.
Really, this is great information, Sean, because this is something that even though a roof isn't leaking and has no real problem, the mere fact that you can't get insured is the problem. So you had to really replace otherwise a good roof, right?
Yeah, the inspector said the roof would probably last another 5 years. It wasn't leaking.
Right.
But
you couldn't insure it.
The code had changed from the time the last layer had been put on to the date. It had changed before we bought the house, but it was perfectly legal when it was done.
Right.
And that's not something that a lot of put a brand new roof on. So those buyers are very lucky that the inspectors are looking out for them.
Thank you, Sean, for that perspective. Roofing is one of the few industries where people are actually put out by having to buy one.
It's absolutely true, Tom.
It's almost expected.
Do you think anybody would do that
to be insurance.
About their TV? If you had an old TV and it had to be replaced, would you call your insurance company?
No, of course not.
And then be mad when they wouldn't replace it?
They're mad. But people are mad when their roofs wear out, never had a hailstorm, and never had a problem, and the roof lasted them 20 years. They're pissed off that they have to buy another one.
That's right. And it's because we're in Denver and there's so much hail. People just expect the insurance companies to pay.
I would love the statistics. The percentage of people who have to buy roofs compared to those who have enough storms to keep them in new roofing.
In Denver, I bet it's probably 10 to 15% of people pay out of pocket for their new roof.
That's it?
Something like that.
You think 80% get by with insurance only?
I think it's
even more.
You do?
Yeah.
In the Denver area, yes. You go to different parts of the country, California, they've never seen an insurance claim. They don't know anything about the roof being paid for by the insurance company. But here, everybody just expects the insurance company to pay for it.
Is this one of the best roofing markets in the country?
No more roofers come to Denver. Please.
No, seriously.
If you're in any kind of construction, please do not get into
because
roofing.
If you talk about
the
other markets
out there, if you're in landscaping, please stay in landscaping.
If you think about other people in other markets, if they never have storms, hardly ever, what do roofers do? It's only when they wear out.
That's right.
That's right.
It would be a terrible market compared to what it is.
Well, and when we don't have a hailstorm, when things get slow in Denver, it gets really slow because everybody's just looking for that roof replacement from insurance dollars.
And there's so many roofers. That tells you a strong company. The ones who can go through a couple seasons with no hailstorms.
That's right.
Or no tornadoes.
Now, on your business, Dave, what percentage would be insurance versus just someone who needs a roof and pays for it?
To be honest, I think it's about 99% with us.
99% storm.
Yeah.
And insurance. What about you, Jay?
It depends on the year. Last year, we were doing probably about 95% of the people that we roofed had insurance claims. But we do, because we've been in the market for so long, when people need a new roof, they do call us. And insurance agents and people like that recommend Excel roofing to their customers.
Linda, what's going on with your roofing question?
Hi, Tom. I live in the Colorado Springs area, and I was going to ask Mr. Petrelli. I think I'm going to need a roof, so I want to have him come out and look at it in the near future. But I was thinking about putting on a metal roof, and I was wondering what's the cost difference in something like that, since it'll probably be out of pocket for the difference.
Now, what kind of pitch are we talking about?
It's like a manufactured home.
And so it's like a 412. It's a mild, very mild pitch.
Yeah.
Aren't those super annoying when it rains or no?
That's another question I was going to ask. Are they noisy?
Well, I love metal roofs like in the mountains. I love the way they look, but are they good roofs, by the way? Are they good roofs?
They are. This is Jay. And we have a couple offices in Wyoming, and in different areas like Casper and Sheridan, metal roofs are much more popular. And you can get a metal roof for a comparable metal roof for about the same price as an asphalt roof.
Really?
Yep, you sure can, but it depends. Like everything, there's lower grade ones and higher grade ones. But the most important thing, Linda, you have to look at that house design and see where that snow is going to dump off of the roof. If that snow is going to dump right in front of your driveway or right on your front porch or walkway, your house is not a good candidate for a metal roof.
Because it doesn't hold snow well.
They are very slippery, and that snow will slide off.
Are they loud?
You can hear the rain and you can hear hail and things like that easier for sure than with an asphalt.
What do you think?
What I heard was this is a mobile home?
No, a manufactured home.
It's like a manufactured home. It's it looks like a house, but you know it's like a prefab.
Did you like?
Okay, what is the pitch on it? Like a 312
or
then 412?
It's just a regular. I mean, it's not real. If the pitch looks, I mean, I don't know. Just look. This is like a community out here. When they're all
it's a mild. When you
homes.
look at the point, it's mild, right? It's not a real steep.
Yeah, it's not. There's no real pitch to it.
What can happen on the low slope pitch roofs like that is if you don't have snow guards on them, it can be dangerous. If you have ice, because at that pitch, that ice will come off all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Versus a steep pitched roof.
Have a good roofer take a look at it, or have Mr. Petrali come out there, Dave Petrali.
Well, I was going to ask him too. Do you service the Falcon area?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll be calling you here shortly.
Linda, are you from Minnesota?
Yes.
Of course.
Oh, everyone knows that, I guess. Okay, thank you. I like trying to guess where people are from their accents. Like I could tell Chris King over here that came with Dave. She's from New York, right? I could tell. 303-713-8255. Let's talk about Rocky's Autos, 63rd and Federal. Listen, if you want to buy a used car, truck, SUV, or van, you'd be a fool not to shop around. But here's what I want you to do. I don't like when people shop and they don't remember what they shop for. Because I had somebody say to me, I found a car at Rocky's and it was $6,000 more. And I said, that's impossible. Come to find out, the one at Rocky's was 5 years newer, a better model, more options, and hardly any miles on it. So please, if you do shop, make sure you take some notes. Please take some notes and make sure you shop apples with apples. 63rd and Federal. You'll find great deals with 40 lenders to choose from. That means what they will do is get everything approved and originated before you leave. So there's never a dreadful callback saying they can't get you qualified or you have to bring in more down payment. They have product, they have price, they have a great process. Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8, 63rd and Federal, 303-426-4646.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock.
I-25, both directions downtown, really heavy, pretty much from Alameda all the way to I-70, either direction.
The ones that have screws through the top, we call them pro panels. You've seen the panels down at Murdoch's or Home Depot or whatever. I call it barn roofing. Yeah, barn roofing. Standing seam. No, standing seam is where you can't see any screws or anything.
Oh,
well, that the fastener is hidden, and then you crimp the top of the metal to make sure it makes it watertight.
Those are more expensive. I mean, to do those type of roofs.
Standing seam for sure.
Yeah.
Those will be 3 times the cost.
I've never put on a exposed fastener in a residential area.
In Casper, that's what people want.
Really?
Yep. We have an office up in Casper, Wyoming, and those are the kind of roofs that people want. Those screws, you have to go retighten them probably every 5 years.
Right.
With what? Yeah, gasket.
Whether you're refinancing or purchasing your new
home. Yeah, but the roof is really underneath on those too, right?
No.
You're right.
It's because the expansion and contraction, those screws will back out over time. But people, that's what they want up in certain areas.
For the look?
It's for the cost. Oh yeah, you can do one of those metal roofs for about the same price as an asphalt roof for the cheap ones. But the more expensive ones, they could be 2 or 3 times.
Guys,
interest mortgage or purchase their next home. We will listen to you and we will personalize your loan to fit your lifestyle. We offer you a paperless loan process, a 15 Up-to-date communication throughout the process. 720-895-0500. Take AIM as your local and trusted broker since 2001.
720-895-0500.
NMLS 298191. Regulated by DORA, Equal Credit Lender.
You know, when we were talking about the hardwood floor problem, I should have said Paradigm Interiors could take a look at that. You know, Paradigm deals in all kinds of floor coverings, and what I love about them is their big, small atmosphere, their big, giant selection, their beautiful, big showroom, and their their pricing, and all first quality goods, and all the newest stuff. They have normal hardwood, of course. They have laminates. They have tile. They have all kinds of engineered floors, and this vinyl luxury tile is unbelievable. Low price, but durable and beautiful. I actually prefer the looks of luxury vinyl tile over some of the laminates. I like it better. I also like it over vinyl, of course, and you can get it to look like stone. By the way, they have carpeting as well, all kinds, including waterproof carpeting. That's right. Literally waterproof. Nothing penetrates it, so you never have to worry about things getting into the floor or the backing. Listen, to find out more, all you have to do is stop over on Evans, just west of Santa Fe. It's called Paradigm. Don and Matt have been in business there about 14 years, and they have a design consultant for everyone, and they have a project manager, no extra costs, so you get that big warehouse pricing, and you get that mom and pop kind of feel when it comes to your attention. 303-630-9204. 303-630-9204. Look for Paradigm on my referral list at referrallist.com.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Healthcare. So is metal better with hail?
No, I think it's not.
So what? They're probably better insurance in the mountains, right? What's that? For insurance in the mountains and stuff, just a metal roof versus a.
Because they don't catch on fire.
Catch on fire, right? Aren't they cheaper?
I don't know about that part.
Oh, really?
I don't know. But in the mountains, you rarely get hail claims.
Right.
So you're paying out of your pocket, so you'd be better off.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino. Welcome, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255.
Well, we didn't get to talk much about United, but I think the market's going to take care of itself on that. They finally did come out and apologize, and we didn't have a chance. We talked quite a bit about roofing and other things, so I always let you dictate what we talk about. So let's talk to Robert. Robert, what's happening?
Hello?
Hey, Robert.
Hey, Tom, I called the other day about a hole in my sunroom roof. We have a deck up there now.
Yes.
Got it all stripped down. I got my plywood down. I'm wondering what type of material. Is an epoxy or something good for that up there to stop the leaking?
Where exactly is that hole, Robert?
We ripped the whole thing. We ripped all of it off. It's just rafters now, 2x8.
Okay, 2x8 rafters, and
right.
You want to put a deck on it?
There was a deck, a walkout deck from 3 bedrooms upstairs out there already.
So it's a kind of flat or mildly pitched?
Yeah, it was very flat. That's why we just ripped it out and we put a 3-inch pitch on it to get the water to drain.
Okay, so now you have a 3-inch pitch, open rafters, and you're wondering what's the best way to cover that up?
Well, we've already got the plywood down, and we put some Henrys on it. I was looking what kind of can you put porcelain tile out there? Or what?
What are you talking about a Henry? What do you mean by a Henry?
Henry's is the coating you put in to help stop the leaking.
Oh, okay. And so you plan on covering this and using it as a walk-on deck?
Yes, that was what it was built for.
A walk-on deck with and a roof at the same time. So, Jay, what do you do in a case like that? Have you done those, Dave? I know Jay has.
We've done some Geico decks.
What do you recommend for that? It's flat, basically. It's a little pitch, but
he needs a roof covering that's going to be able to be walked on and have traffic on it. There is one product. It's a polyvinyl chloride, a PVC type product. It's called Deck Tech. Deck Tech, it's a sheet that you put on the roof. A professional roofer needs to install it.
It comes in a roll?
It comes in a roll. It kind of looks like a pattern that you'd see around a pool.
How wide of a roll?
It's expensive. It's 8-foot rolls, and then you get whatever length. But it's probably going to be $1,500 a square, or $15 a square foot to put this on there.
It is expensive.
Now, the coating
is that with installation?
Yes.
Okay, how big is your deck?
300 feet, square feet.
300. Well, that's not
so
terrible.
$4,500 to $5,000 to put a roof on there. That
Okay,
it's
what was the name of
approved to
that?
be walked on.
What was the name of that?
Deck Tech.
Deck Tech.
If you send me an email, I can get you a link and send that back to you.
Is that put on with heat and rolled?
It's put on with glue, is what you do.
It's cold. It's a cold seam.
It's a cold process. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay.
And do you plan on doing this yourself?
No, I have a contractor working for me now.
And what did he recommend?
We were going to put down porcelain tile.
Now listen, let me explain something to you. I tried tile outside one time. If it's done properly, it can be done. It is a very challenging floor to do. Very challenging. And I don't know what kind of a roof it would make. Now, as a floor, I had it on a deck where it wasn't a roof underneath. It was open. Jay, I don't know if that would ever serve as a roof. I mean, you'd have to put a roof down and then put some probably, I don't know how you would do it, actually.
What's commonly done is where you're going, Tom, is you put down the roof first, and then you put some wood stringers on top of that, and then build a wood deck on top of the stringers.
And then lay the tile on that. That would be horrendous. That would be
expensive for sure.
Or cementuous board could you put over the stringers? I don't know. It's difficult. Have you ever considered? I don't know. I mean,
okay, I found one of the products that I was talking about.
Yeah.
It's called Duradek. Duradek. Duradek, and that would be a product that would be applicable for an outside deck. It's going to keep everything watertight, and you are allowed to walk on it. When I say allowed to walk on it, you're not going to damage it, and also it's going to have a little bit of grip to it. It's going to have some friction.
Duradek, that's another one. Okay, now, did I get rid of, well, Sal just hung up, so he wanted to talk about a problem with a tax company in Greeley. All right, well, we're out of time for that, so just remember, we're always on archive. You can see the show again, hear the show again, Facebook, also YouTube. You can also do that on khow.com, and don't forget referralist.com for help, information, and referrals. Thank you for Excel Roofing, 303-761-6400, and Petrali Roofing, 719-375-8773. Save all your problems for me.
Are you tired of living with knee pain? Have you decided it's time to do something about it and want to know about the latest, most...
You know, I looked at doing it one time. Okay. I've always tried to find is it hard to put together, or what do you think?
Dr. Hickey is one of the premier surgeons in Colorado.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you'd have to cover these.
Specific to your body.
Yeah.